Through the decades, college football has had many superstars that changed the sport, and during the 80s, we saw a group of players that would help shoot the game to new heights, and after that, they would go on to become some of the biggest legends in the NFL. And in college football, it all starts with the recruiting process, where all the best teams in the country will fight tooth and nail to create the best recruiting class possible. So I wanted to put 23 of the greatest college football players from the 1980s into one recruiting class, and we will watch the recruiting process to see where each one of these legends will end up. Then I will sim through their 4 years of college, and we will track their progress over their careers. We will watch some games live to see these stars match up. I made each of them an 88 overall while still trying to make their ratings match up with their real life counterparts, so their play style will be as similar as possible, and all of this is going to happen in the NCAA Revamped Mod. All right, boys, so let's get into it. So I'm going to be controlling Air Force. I am just going to be simulating through 1 year where we're going to watch the recruiting process, then 4 more years I will not be doing any recruiting. I won't be doing anything except just following along. So yeah, I'm controlling Air Force, but we will be doing nothing. We are going to let the computer totally decide where these players want to go. Then we are going to follow along with their careers. Now, this is actually the second time I recorded this. I recorded the whole recruiting process in the whole first season, and then my mic wasn't on, and I made the whole recruiting class. I had to restart. Sometimes it's hard when I have to re-record things to not repeat myself or remember what I've said already and whatever. So gonna try to make this as quick and easy as we go through the first year. So what I did, I created the top 23 players from the 80s. Now the reason I cut it off at 23 is it's like 23 24 players that you can actually make in a recruiting class in the NCAA game. So if I try to make more than that, it'll just delete like the previous ones I made. So 23 is the max you can do. I did 6 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 5 wide receivers, and then 6 defensive players. This is actually the first time I'm doing defensive players also, just because there's kind of less stats you can look at. And a lot of the times through these sims, the guys just don't put up very good, big defensive numbers. So we will have to see. Now, the 6 quarterbacks I made, the first one is Doug Flutie. Now, Flutie played at Boston College in the mid 80s, legendary college football player. He's from Maryland. He's looking at Marshall, West Virginia, Tennessee. We have Dan Marino from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's looking at OU, Tennessee, Clemson, A&M, USC. Then we have Troy Aikman, who actually started at Oklahoma, went to UCLA, first overall pick by the Cowboys. He's looking at Georgia, Bama, LSU, OU, Clemson, Florida. Then we have Steve Young, who went to BYU. He's from Utah, and he is leaning BYU, Michigan, Texas, Utah, A&M. We have Randall Cunningham, 6'4", 217. Where did he go again? He went to UNLV, actually, right. And he's looking at Fresno State, Washington State, California, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, or Oklahoma. And then the last one is the legend John Elway. One of the greatest draft prospects of all time. Was kind of the original can't miss QB prospect. He went to Stanford. He's looking at Washington, USC, OU, Texas, and Nebraska. So that is our 6 QBs. Some really good ones. I also tried to take into account some of how they performed in the NFL as well, because I want it to be interesting players that we all kind of know as well. The running back group is quite literally insane, guys. First, we have Thurman Thomas, who played at Oklahoma State. He's looking at Texas, Texas A&M, Baylor, OU, LSU, Utah. Then we have Herschel Walker. He's from Georgia. He is looking like he might go to Georgia, maybe Clemson, North Carolina State, Bama, or Wake Forest. Absolute freak show at Georgia. Then we have Marcus Allen from California. He went to USC. He is leaning USC right now. Then there's also Nebraska, Cal, Texas, OU, Bama. Then we have Barry Sanders. Actually was Thurman Thomas's backup at Oklahoma State for a year or two. Then stepped in and had maybe the greatest college football season of all time, rushing for 26, I believe, 100 yards in a season, which is absolutely insane. He's leading Georgia. He's from Kansas. He's leading Georgia, Bama, Clemson, UNC, Iowa. Then we have Bo Jackson, who's from the state of Alabama, actually went to Auburn, but he is leaning Bama right now. There's also Florida State, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma. And there is one more, and it is Eric Dickerson. Went to SMU. He's from Texas. Absolute freak of nature. 6'3", like 217, 220 pounds. Ran like a deer. One of the greatest college football and NFL running backs ever. He's leading Ohio State, Alabama, Nebraska, Michigan, Texas, LSU. It would definitely be cool. One of the goals I love to see when I do kind of these recruiting type videos is I want to see a few of these guys end up at the same school. Just really cool to see them play together. So it'd be cool if we get, one running back or receiver all at one school. That would be kind of ideal. Okay, moving on to wide receivers, and we have 4 of them. First, we have Jerry Rice, who went to Mississippi Valley State. I believe that's an HBCU. Incredible in college, obviously, and was good enough to actually become a first-round pick in the NFL draft. And this is in the 80s. Like, there's very little film. There's no YouTube. You can't just turn on Jerry Rice film just willy-nilly. So the fact he was able to do that show, and he went down as the GOAT, but that just shows how freaking good he was. So he's looking at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee. Then we have Tim Brown, who went to Notre Dame. He is from Texas, though. We got Oklahoma, Clemson, A&M, LA Tech, Baylor. Then we got Michael Irvin, went to the U in the 80s on those, like, kind of the beginning of those really good U teams. Gainesville, Florida. He's looking at Clemson, OSU, Texas A&M, Syracuse, Georgia. Then we have Chris Carter, who went to the Ohio State. He's from the state of Ohio. He's looking at Ohio State, Clemson, Michigan, Michigan State. Clemson seems to be in on a ton of these guys. Then to wrap it up, we have Sterling Sharp. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He's looking at Illinois, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Iowa, Mizzou, and Bama. He's kind of looking like he's probably going to stay in kind of that Big Ten North kind of area of the country. Okay, no tight ends, no offensive linemen. We are going to move on to defense now. So like I said, this is the first time I've ever put defenders in one of these recruiting class videos. So I put 3 defensive ends. 2 of them played actually kind of more outside linebacker, but if I played them an outside linebacker and they get recruited to a, 4-3 school, which most teams are, they're not actually ever going to rush the passer. So Derek Thomas is one of them. Went to Alabama. He's from Florida. Played for the Chiefs. NFL Hall of Famer, legend, unreal. He's looking at Michigan, Clemson, Penn State, Bama, and Florida State. Then we have Reggie White, who went to Tennessee. Freakiest of freak shows, like 6'5", 280, 290 pounds, strongest player ever, maybe. He's looking at Georgia, North Carolina State, Bama, Northwestern, Clemson. Then the last one is Lawrence Taylor, who actually went to North Carolina. He's looking at Tennessee, Bama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Auburn. There is a debate. Those are the 3 best pass rushers ever. Like, maybe they're not, but they are on that list. So very, very talented. Then we have 1 linebacker, and it is Junior Seau. He went to USC, all-time great linebacker. USC, Cal, Nebraska, Texas, OU, and Stanford. Then we have 2 DBs. First, we have free safety Rod Woodson. He went to Purdue, played safety and corner in the NFL. He's from Indiana, I believe. Yeah, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I accidentally put him at Fishers, but he's from Fort Wayne. Looking at Notre Dame, Bama, Georgia, or Illinois. Then last but not least, to wrap it up, we have prime time Deion Neon Sanders, one of the best college football NFL players of all time. He went to Florida State. He is from the state of Florida. He's looking at Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Miami, Florida State, and Florida. So kind of the 3 Florida schools and the 3 biggest schools around the Southeast, bottom of the country. So that is the recruiting class, guys. Let me know what you think. Who should I have included? Who should I got rid of? Top college players in the 80s. And like I said, I obviously included how good they were in the NFL. Okay, so now we are going to get into this first season now, but we got to keep in mind, all these players are in high school right now, right? Like, this is their last high school season. So we are going to sim through the first season. Right now, I'm going to sim to about week 8. At week 8, we'll look and see where some guys will be probably committed by them. We'll see kind of where everybody's leaning. Then we'll sim to week 15. We'll get another look at it, and then we'll sim to National Signing Day, and that will wrap up the first season. Then year 2, we'll know what school they're on. We'll watch games, we'll look at stats, we'll super sim through games, and we'll hop on the field and do all that good stuff. So we're going to sim to week 8 or through week 8 right now. All right, so here we are through week 8. We are going to look at all prospects. We'll go look at our players and see where they look like they're going to end up. So we got Doug Flutie going to Buffalo, it looks like. I don't know if I've ever seen any of my recruits in all the different sims and stuff I've made go there, but you never know. Small school. Then Tennessee, Clemson, West Virginia, kind of could be, but it looks like Tennessee or probably Buffalo. We got Dan Marino looking like he's going to go to Oklahoma or his alma mater in real life, Pitt, or possibly Clemson, Tennessee, or A&M. Go to Aikman. He's looking like he's going to go to Georgia, Stanford, or ASU. So some good schools. That would be interesting. I could see him at Georgia. We got Steve Young looking like he's going to stay in the state of Utah. Either going to go play for the Utes, go to BYU, his real school in real life, or possibly A&M. Then we got Randall Cunningham looking like he's going to go to Fresno State, Washington State, OSU, maybe Texas Tech. Then last but not least, we have John Elway, who looks like he's going to go to UW, maybe Nebraska. I like him at UW. That's kind of a cool fit. He's from the state, so makes sense. Okay. Then we got Thurman Thomas looking like he's going to go to LSU, possibly Baylor or Texas, maybe A&M. Herschel Walker locked in at Georgia. There we go. He's going to his real life school. Okay. Marcus Allen looks like it's down to Texas or USC, possibly Cal. Then we go Barry Sanders looking like Georgia or Clemson. I really hope he doesn't go to Georgia just because they got Herschel. So go to Clemson, put him work there. Bo looking like Georgia, LSU, or Bama. I really hope he either goes to Bama or LSU just because, like I said, we already have Herschel at Georgia. Then Laz Dickerson, Bama or Nebraska. So Bama's got a shot to get one of those two for sure. So honestly, it might be good if Bo goes to LSU, Dickerson goes to Bama, and then everyone's kind of at their own school and, we're not stepping on each other's toes. Okay, if we go wide receiver, looking like Jerry might go to LSU, possibly Alabama or Mississippi State. Tim Brown looking like Baylor, A&M, or Oklahoma. Maybe Clemson. I would like him to go to Oklahoma because then it looked like Dan Marino might go there. I really want to see one of the QBs teamed up with one of the receivers, and Michael Irvin is going to Clemson. So that's locked in. And we have Chris Carter looking like he's going to go to The Ohio State. They do have a very packed wide receiver room, so I don't know how much he'll play right away, but we will see. And then Sterling Sharp looking like Illinois, maybe Iowa or Mizzou, but that is where we're sitting there. Go to defenders. We have Derek Thomas looking like Michigan, possibly Clemson, Penn State, maybe Bama on the outside looking in. Reggie White looking like Clemson or Bama, possibly Northwestern. Clemson could get some crazy recruits here. Then we got LT locked in at Ohio State. So LT going to Ohio State. I like that. Okay. Then middle linebacker was Junior Seau, and he's looking like Texas, Cal, or USC. Going to DBs. We got Dion locked in at Bama. What a get. Going to play for Nick Saban. And then free safety, Rod looking like Bama. If Bama gets Rod Woodson and Neon Sanders, that would be incredible. Maybe Illinois. And if Illinois got freaking Sterling Sharp and Rod Woodson out of nowhere, that would be crazy too. So that is through week 8, guys. We only had maybe 2 or 3 guys actually finish their recruiting. So we're going to go to conference championship weekend, take another look. By then, probably half or a little more might even be finished their recruiting. And then we'll just sim to National Signing Day. And then everyone obviously will be. All right, so here we are through week 15. I'm going to look at all our prospects once again. QB, Doug now looking like Tennessee, maybe Buffalo. Dan looking like Pitt, A&M, Clemson, Tennessee. I would love for him to go to Clemson, actually. Clemson, play with Michael Irvin. Troy locked in at Georgia. So we have Herschel and Troy at Georgia. Steve locked in at Utah. Randall looking like for sure Fresno State or OSU. And John locked in at UW. Okay, go running back. Thurman Thomas looking like A&M, Texas, LSU, Baylor, all still in the running. Herschel, we knew, locked in at Georgia. Marcus Allen ends up at SC, his alma mater in real life. Barry looking like he might go to Clemson. Don't go to Georgia. Bo, don't go to Georgia. Go to LSU. Do not go to Georgia. Eric going to Bama. So Bama gets one. And is that it? Yeah. So as long as Bo, like these guys don't go to Georgia. Yeah, they already got Herschel. So let's spread the love. Okay. Wide receiver looking like Jerry, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or possibly Bama. Tim Brown going to A&M. Michael Irvin, we knew Clemson. Chris Carter, Ohio State, his real school. And then Sharp looking like Illinois. So defense, looking like DT might probably go to Michigan, probably. Reggie looking like Clemson, maybe Bama. LT, we already knew Ohio State. Middle linebacker with Junior. SC, so SC gets him and Marcus. Both actually went there in real life. We knew Dion's going to Bama, and Rod Woodson going to Bama. So, and they got Eric Dickerson. So Bama got 3 guys already for sure. They might end up with 4. Last time I did this, they ended up with 5, where I cut my mic. My mic wasn't plugged in. They got Rod, Dion. I think they got LT and Bo Jackson and maybe one more. Like, it was actually kind of crazy how many they got. But all right, so that is it for the first regular season. I'm just going to sim to National Signing Day, and then we'll find out exactly where each one of these guys is going to end up. All right, so here we are in National Signing Day. Let's go through. So Doug ends up at Clemson. That's kind of cool. So Doug's going to play with Michael Irvin. There we go, Clemson. Dan's going to OU. That's a huge get for OU. Aikman, we knew at Georgia, so we knew Steve. And Cunningham ends up at Texas Tech. Forever it was Fresno State in the lead there, but he's going to go to Tech. Okay. Go to running back. Thurman, A&M. Herschel, Georgia. Marcus, USC. Barry, Clemson. So Clemson gets Barry Sanders, Michael Irvin, and Doug Flutie. Bo. So, oh my God, Georgia. Georgia got Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson as their 1-2 punch with Troy Aikman at quarterback. That is insane. Bama does get Dickerson. So, wow. Bo and Herschel Walker. Mississippi State, we knew there. Tim Brown ends up at A&M. So A&M gets Tim Brown and Thurman Thomas. Michael Irvin, we knew Clemson. Chris Carter, Ohio State. Sterling Shepard, Illinois. Go to ends. DT ends up at Michigan. Reggie ends up at Clemson. So Clemson got 4. LT, we knew Ohio State. We knew Seau at USC. And then Bama gets both our DBs with Dion and Rod. So there it is, guys. That is the recruiting process. Now we are going to get into season 1 right here, and we're going to start following along, looking at stats, simming, looking at games. We're going to hop in if we get good matchups, stuff like that. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are in season 1. We are going to go through the rosters here, take a look at how soon some of these guys we can expect them to start playing. So starting with Alabama, and if you guys have watched my channel before, I just did I reset Alabama to 2007, simulated their whole, I recruited them and everything, and I accidentally started this 1980s recruiting thing with the file where I switched out the Alabama roster. So I forgot to switch it back. So Dickerson and these boys are actually playing on the 2007 Alabama roster, but it's not really going to affect anything. Right now, Dickerson is 3rd on the depth chart. Juniors and sophomores ahead of him. So they're going to have a 3-headed race to see who's going to be the starter right there for them. So that'll be interesting. Then if we get into the secondary, they have Dion, who's actually probably going to be starting in the slot for them as a freshman. And then they have Kareem Jackson and Rod Woodson. So Rod is probably going to be a backup this year, but by next year could probably get in the starting lineup. Okay, then we're going to go down to Clemson. QB, they got Doug and Klubnik, and Doug is just ahead of Klubnik. So they actually have the same face somehow. But yeah, Doug just ahead of Klubnik, so will probably start as a true freshman. Then running back, they have Will Shipley, who's only a junior. So they got Will Shipley and Barry Sanders for the next 2 years. So Dion's going to be splitting time for a while, but he's in a really good spot still. Then they have Michael Irvin, who's actually going to be one of the starting receivers with Bo Collins. 6'2", 92 speed as a freshman. Going to be getting a ton of work. And then I believe they also got Reggie White, who's going to be a starting defensive end for them and just going to be an absolute beast along their defensive line. So Clemson probably had the best recruiting class as far as, our 1980s players. They absolutely killed it. But another team who did great was Georgia, and they got Troy Aikman, who's actually going to be starting this year on a potential national championship contender, start playing as number 25. We cannot have him be number. Oh my God, they have nothing. Yeah, I guess you're 25. We're sorry, Carson Beck. Even though you're good in real life, we're gonna switch you to 98. Troy can't be number 25. Come on. Okay, never mind. They have too many. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Troy's going to start out at number 25. Then running back, they kind of have a four-headed monster this year, but two of them are seniors. But then next year, they're going to have Bo and Herschel. So I don't really know how they're going to split the carries up this year. But by next year, those will just be kind of their 1-2 punch. Okay, going down to Illinois, and they are going to have Sterling Sharp. I always want to say Shannon. Really good receiver. He's going to be their number 2 receiver this year. Their QB is just okay. They got Danny Weeks, actually a true freshman in there, so we will see how he performs. We might not see a ton of Sterling in this sim just because I don't know what type of numbers he'll put up in that offense. Okay, going down to Michigan, and I believe Michigan just only had one of our guys. Right? They didn't get a running back. They didn't get a receiver. They only got Derek Thomas, who's actually going to be a starting defensive end for them on a national title contender right from the jump. So that is a good spot for him. He's going to be making some noise along that defensive line. Okay, go to Mississippi State. They have Will Rogers at quarterback, and he gets to throw the ball to Jerry Rice, who's going to be one of their starting wideouts this year as a true freshman. He has a good quarterback who's, only a junior. This guy's a sophomore, so he'll probably play. So yeah, he's not in a horrible spot at Mississippi State. Okay, then moving on to Ohio State, and they brought in Chris Carter, but they have an absolutely loaded receiving room. They got Harrison Egbuka, Chris Carter now, Julian Fleming. So I think it's going to be Fleming and Carter duking out for playing time. They are going to have CJ Stroud, obviously, still, who's going to be an absolute freak. So Ohio State's offense is loaded. Then we got Oklahoma, and he's got a great receiver to throw to. I forgot about Dylan Gabriel. So Dan Marino's actually going to be backing up Dylan Gabriel this year. Gabriel will be gone after this year, though, and then it'll be Dan Marino's show, and he'll just step in. So he does lose Mims, though, so hopefully they got some young receiving talent coming up, because we want to see Dan chucking the rock. Okay, then we go down to Texas A&M. So they got Thurman Thomas, who's going to be the starting running back for them this year as a true freshman. It's a big get. And then they got Tim Brown, who's actually going to be one of their starting wideouts as well. So doing really well there. We'll have to see how their quarterbacks play. They got Max Johnson, Connor Wiegman. So they're going to need Wiegman to develop into a pretty good quarterback over the next few years. He's going to have weapons with Thurman and Tim Brown, though. Okay, then we got Texas Tech, and they got their QB Randall Cunningham. This is kind of like their second coming of Patrick Mahomes at Tech. Absolute freak of nature. 6'4", 217, 92 speed. He's got a good running back. What does his receiver room look like? Senior, junior, senior, sophomore. So he's going to need some of these young guys to develop. He's going to have the decent receivers this year, but yeah, we'll have to see how they progress. Okay, then going to USC, and they were able to get two. They were able to get Marcus Allen, who's actually going to be playing behind Raleek Brown this year. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Marcus is probably going to get quite a bit of carries this year. And then at middle linebacker, they got Junior Seau, who's actually going to be playing behind this Gentry guy right now. So not sure if Seau is going to be playing much as a true freshman. Then we got two quarterbacks left. We got at Utah, Steve Young, who is actually a great spot for Steve. Step in. He's going to be a 4-year starter for them. Utah always just makes a good, solid team. They're going to be good on defense. They're going to be good on offense. Yeah, I like that fit. And then ending it all off at Washington, who's going to be behind Penix for this year with John Elway, but then he's going to step in for Penix and be in a great spot. There, I wonder, Adunze is a junior. Yeah, Polk is a sophomore, so Polk will be there, and then you got some younger guys, hopefully two that they can get going. But he will probably have Adunze and McMillan next year. So Elway is probably going to put up some insane stats next year once he gets in there. Okay, so that is it, guys. We are going to sim till about week 8 here. Then we'll kind of look at the stats, see how everyone's looking, look who's getting playing time, who's not. And then we'll try to hop into like 1 or 2 games this year, watch some of these guys live. And then usually because they're freshmen right now, I don't watch a ton of games, but I'll watch some. But then as they get into sophomore, junior, seniors, we're going to watch 3-4 games a year just so we can see all these guys actually playing. All right, so we're through week 8. We'll look at the top 25, just see if any of our teams are up there. UW is actually #1 in the country. Bama with a few of our guys. SC with a few of our guys. Ohio State with 1. Michigan with 1. OU with 1. Some of these guys obviously aren't playing a ton this year, but by next year, most of these guys, and especially by their 3rd year, obviously they'll basically all be playing. But we're going to go look at some of their stats, see how they are performing so far. So at Alabama, Dickerson not getting a lot of carries right now. He's kind of 3rd on their depth chart. So, but by next year, I'd imagine he can overtake some of those guys. Defensively, let's see if either of the DBs. We know Dion should be playing a little bit. Dion, 10 tackles so far. So, oh, he does have a int, and it might be for a score and for a score. So Dion has 1 defensive touchdown, which is cool to see. Rod not really playing right now, only 2 tackles. Okay, if we go down to Clemson, who has the most out of any of our teams with 4. Reggie, 2nd on the team in tackles, 15 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. So yeah, he's putting in work, got a fumble recovery as well. So Reggie already looking like a dominant force on that D-line. Receiving, Michael Irvin, 2nd in yards on the team. Doesn't look like they're throwing the ball a ton, averaging 38 yards per game. And passing, Doug Flutie is the starting QB. 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 8 picks. So not an amazing start. We know he can run, though. Only 98 yards, so not even running the ball great. Barry, though, 296, 6.5 a carry, 49 per game. So 6.5 in carry is 6. So we'll have to see how Doug's got to play a little better. He doesn't want Klubnik to catch him. Okay, go down to Georgia. First, we got Troy, who is starting. 1180, 12 touchdowns, 4 picks. So good start for Troy, especially as a true freshman. You'll take that. Herschel looks like he's actually the 2nd running back here behind Edwards. Bo not getting a ton of run, but by next year, they'll be the 1-2 punch, and that'll be freaking insane. 63 yards per game for Herschel. That's it for them, I believe. Illinois, let's see how our boy is doing. Mr. Sharp, 2nd leading receiver on the team. Isaiah Williams is really soaking up all the targets. So by next year, Sharp should be in his role, getting a ton of work. So there we go. Okay, go to Michigan, and we have Mr. Derek Thomas, 14 tackles, 2 for a loss, 1/2 a sack. So not making the impact Reggie White was on Clemson so far, but it is obviously very early. We go Mississippi State. Jerry Rice, leading receiver on the team, averaging 121 a game as a true freshman. Holy cow, 6 touchdowns. That is crazy. So he is off to a blistering start. Blistering. See, maybe they're giving them all. No, I was like, maybe they're even handing it off to him too. Who knows? But no. Wow. Okay, gonna go to Ohio State. I don't think we're gonna be seeing much from Chris Carter this year. Yeah, he's got 1 catch for 8 yards, but hopefully by next year. But like, they're even gonna have Egbuka and Harrison next year, so it's gonna be tough for him to get a lot of playing time for the next 2 years. If we go Oklahoma, unless there's an injury, we know, yeah, Marino's not going to really play till next year. 1 touchdown on the year. Go down to Texas A&M. Got Wiegman and Johnson. We got Thurman, who's a leading back, 698, 100 yards a game, basically 3 tutties for Thurman. We'll take that. He's also 189 through the air, so he's at like 125 yards a game. Tim Brown, 225 through the air, 2 touchdown, true freshman. You will take that. He's actually has the second most receiving yards on the team, so he's averaging 18.7 yards per catch. So just got to get him the ball a little bit more. Okay, go down to Tech and Cunningham, 1,129 yards, 225 a game, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. Does have 284 on the ground though, with 5 more touchdowns. So he's just going to be ultimate dual threat QB at Tech. So that'll be fun to watch. We go down to USC. We got Raleek and Marcus basically splitting carries, both looking pretty much identical of 5.1 yards per carry. 4 touchdowns for Marcus, though, 56 yards per game. We'll take that as a true freshman for sure. Seeing if he was getting any receiving work, not really. We go to the defensive side of the field. Junior's got 8 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack, and a pick. So looks like he's a freshman, but he's all over the field making plays. Or sorry, he looks like he's a backup, but he's all over the field making plays. Okay, go to Utah. Got Steve Young throwing every pass for them this year. 14 touchdowns, 8 picks, 164 a game. We know he can run as well. 268 on the ground, 2 more tutties, 38 yards per game there as well. And then we're wrapping up at UW, unless there's an injury. Yeah, Elway's not going to play much this year, 112 yards, but he's going to be stepping in for Penix next year and hopefully doing a lot of what Penix is up to. So there we go. Okay, now I kind of want to look at some of the scores and schedules. I'm trying to find a game just because some of the teams that are performing really well, our guys aren't really starters for them right now. I'd like to look at Clemson's schedule. Oh, they played Georgia week 1. They have any of our guys? Yeah, I was trying to find a good matchup between some of our schools, but I don't really see anything. Okay, we're just going to keep simming. I was going to see, we'll sim to the conference championship weekend, see if we get a matchup there, or we'll check out maybe 2 bowl games. Okay, so we're in conference championship weekend. We're going to look at the top 25 here. So Bama, undefeated Ohio State. Just looking at kind of our teams that have our guys, USC there, Oklahoma, we got backups. We got Georgia, Bama in the conference championship game, and that could be a really good game. So I think we're just going to hop in, watch that one. This will be Troy Aikman starting. We'll see a little bit of Dickerson. We'll see, yeah, but see, Dickerson's not even starting. That's the only thing with this year. Some of our guys aren't going to be playing a ton. Okay, you know what? We're just going to watch some of this game. I want to see maybe even just watch a Troy Aikman drive, and then we can hop in at the end if it's close as well. That's where they sit. Bama has a great defense this year. 2 pretty close teams. Bama's undefeated. Georgia's 3 lost, but on paper, they look pretty close. Okay, so here we go. We got a 3rd and 3 right here for Georgia. We'll see if they throw this ball, if they run it. We got Troy Aikman in shotgun. Brock Bowers in the slot as big tight end. Gonna drop back here with Troy. Fire it down to Brock. There we go. Nice little reception for Brock. Okay, we're gonna keep simming here. Got another 3rd and 1. Probably is a bit more of a rundown here, but we do have Aikman in shotgun once again, so we will see. Hard count. He's gonna hand it off. That guy. Oh, he does get the first for Dewan Edwards, but I think you probably want to get downfield, like get downhill a little bit there. Okay, 1st and 10 here. I just want to see Troy sling it a little bit. Here we go. Troy, little draw play there. Ooh, nice hole for Dewan. Hey, we got another 3rd and 1 here. So they're not getting big plays, but they're just kind of getting the ball where they need to. And we got Troy in empty right now. Once again, Bowers kind of in the slot here. Drops back, plenty of time, gets that little in cut to Adonai Mitchell. 8-yard rush, 17-yard throw for Troy. So Troy is leading a great drive right here for Georgia against Bama. We got trips to the bottom of the screen here. Troy drops back, sets up, and he's going back corner of the end zone to Adonai Mitchell. And that is a great opening drive from Troy Aikman. Okay, we're going to go just the end of the quarter here. We'll look at the score. So we got 7-0 lead for Georgia. We'll go to half. We got a 14-7 lead Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, we're going to go to the 4th quarter. Wow. And all of a sudden it is a boat race and Georgia kind of blows the doors off. And 35-14. We'll watch a bit more Troy here, but wow. Alabama, the #1 team in the nation, undefeated, and Georgia 571 yards of total offense. Troy Aikman has almost thrown for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Dogs. So yeah, I think they found their quarterback. They also, not right now, they're not using them, but they're going to have Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker. Yeah. I think this team, Adonai, that might put Troy over 500 yards. Georgia could be absolutely terrifying here through the rest of this sim. We know they can recruit. We know they're going to have defenders. We know they're going to be able to run the ball, and they're going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They're going to run draw with Aikman, who gets in, and Troy Aikman just dummies the Alabama undefeated Crimson Tide. Wow. Okay, we're going to sim through the rest of this. We got to see Troy do it all, though. So they actually put in Van Griff there. They took Troy out, but he's going to finish. Gets his SEC win. They do lose 3 games in the regular season, which obviously they don't want to do, but they had a true freshman at quarterback who just had his coming out party in the SEC championship game. Incredible. Okay, so Troy, 35 of 50 for 496, 5 touchdowns. So did have 2 picks, but absolutely crazy. Herschel got 5 carries. Aikman had another touchdown on the ground. Bowers, Mitchell, Edwards all had over 100 yards. I guess we'll see. I don't think Dickerson got a lot of run this game. They could not get anything going. Yeah, Dickerson didn't even get a carry. So there we go. Craziness. Okay, I'm going to sim through the rest of the conference championship games. We'll go to the bowl season. We'll probably hop in and watch at least one bowl game. Okay, so we're going to look at the scores and schedules. So Ohio State plays Oregon. So we got Chris Carter in the Natty, but he won't be playing much. Michigan is one of our teams. Oklahoma, Georgia. I wish, but Dylan Gabriel is going to be starting that game. Bama is going to be playing Kansas in the Rose Bowl. Mississippi State versus Central Michigan is one of his. Jerry, obviously. Clemson, I might hop in and just watch some of Clemson just because they have so many of our guys. USC versus Tech, actually. Let's watch Clemson just because they have 4 of our guys. And with how bad their season was, I don't know how many times we're actually going to get to watch them if they don't start getting a little better. So that's where each team ranks. Pretty close, I'd say. Honestly, UCLA looks like the better team on paper, but I'd say the star power is going to lean a little bit more towards Clemson. Okay, Sun Bowl, UCLA Bruins versus Clemson Tigers. Okay, we got a 3rd and 3 to start here. Let's see what Doug Flutie can do. Little Doug Flutie in the kind of full house pistol look here. Everybody's going to head out. He's got plenty of time. Don't take a sack. He's going to try to run for it. And Doug Flutie goes down. I don't know how good his freshman year was. I don't think it was the best. So we are definitely going to want to see some improvements. We don't really care. Oh, Will Shipley. Yeah, they are going to be riding Will Shipley. 4th and 2, and they punt it away. So UCLA goes down and scores. Okay, 3rd and 5. Let's see what Flutie's got. We got a split back look, so that's going to be Shipley and Barry Sanders on either side of him. He's going to do a screen pass to Shipley, and Flutie takes another sack. This is a nightmarish start for Clemson. 4th and 17. They're going to punt it away again, and UCLA is going to go down and score another touchdown. Clemson is getting run over right now. 4th and 2. Punt away. Clemson 20-0, and we're barely out of the first quarter. Okay, we're gonna watch a bit of this drive and then we'll probably just get out of here. Wow, crazy. Clemson has some work to do. They had a star-studded recruiting class and they have some other great players, and it is just not coming together for them right now. So it is going to be nut up or shut up time here for the Clemson Tigers. 2nd and 5. 3rd and 1 here. We got Flutie in a pistol look again. We'll hand off to Shipley, and he's just going to get that first down. 8 yards for Shipley. 3rd and 2. Let's see what we got. 1 of 5 on 3rd downs for Clemson. Got a little balanced under center, a little play action for Flutie. He's going to tuck and run. He's got speed. He can run the ball. It's kind of a bigger hit than you want to see him take, but that is definitely part of what he brings to the table. Okay, they got a bit of a drive, 5 yards, 15 yards, 4-yard touchdown. Okay, so hey, we're going to go till halftime. Maybe they'll get a bit of a comeback. 20-7. We're going to go to the 4th quarter here. 27-7. That is going to do it. Clemson just very disappointing this year. That is going to put them at 7-6 unless something weird here happens at the end. No, definitely not. So 34-21, UCLA wins it. They have a ton of talent. Obviously, all those guys are going to improve. They're going to be star-studded. So they just need to, put it together a little bit here. So Doug, 212 yards, 1 touchdown. He also ran for 8 yards. Shipley ran for 116, 18 yards for Sanders. Michael finished with 90 yards receiving and a touchdown. Okay, so that's pretty much going to wrap up season 1, guys. Like I said, we're going to watch more, probably 3 to 4 games in their sophomore, junior, and senior year. It's just hard right now when guys aren't starters and stuff. So we are going to advance to the end of the year, and we're going to look at their stats. So we're going to go through bowl games right here. Okay, so let's go look at the final stats for these players. So first, Bama. Rushing, Dickerson only 131 carries on the year. Hopefully by next year, he passes up on some of those guys and gets into more of a starting role. Then they had 2 defenders. Dion, 27 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, ended up with 2 picks and a defensive touchdown. So good freshman year, honestly, for Dion. Rod, only 2 tackles on the year, so really didn't see the field. Was Dion a kick returner? Dion was a kick returner as well. Starting kick returner. So there was his kick return numbers as well. Okay, go to Clemson. Doug, 104 QB rating, 2,300 yards, 18 11, 183 a game, 45% completion percentage. You definitely want to get up. Flutie had 264. He had 7 touchdowns. Barry, 720 yards, 6.4 yards a carry is very good for a 55 average. Shipley is going to be back most likely next year, though. Irvin, 435 on the ground, but as a freshman, obviously, you're going to take that. 2 touchdowns, 33 a game. Oh, and then they also had defensive with Reggie, 70 tackles as a freshman, 25 tackles for a loss to lead the team. Tied for the league team lead with 7.5 sacks, 2 passes deflected, a forced fumble. Reggie freaking White was incredible. Wow. Go to Georgia. We had Troy, 134 for a freshman QB. He's actually good. 31 touchdowns, 212 a game. Also ran for 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Herschel was the backup, 776 yards, 55 a game. Bo didn't really get much run, but it will be the Herschel and Bo show next year, which along with Troy, which is just absolutely scary. We'll go Illinois. And Sharp, only 323 yards, 26 a game. Basically just threw it to their stud the whole game. So that'll probably be just kind of his role next year, which will be nice. Go down to Michigan and our boy DT, 50 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks. So okay year. Wasn't the playmaker Reggie was for sure. That's who I've been missing. I forgot at Ohio State, they don't just have Chris Carter. They also have, which I totally forgot about. It looks like he's a backup this year. They also have Lawrence Taylor, who did get 3 tackles for a loss, 1/2 a sack. So I've just totally, but they do have a couple of good DNs, which I'm not sure. JT and Sawyer, and they're both juniors. So it might even be hard for LT to play next year, but they got some good young guys in behind them. Let's see what Chris Carter ended up with. Yeah, 3 receptions on the year. Okay, we got Oklahoma next, but like we know, Gabriel is going to be the starter. Marino didn't really play, but Gabriel will be gone next year. Marino is going to step in. A&M, we got Wiegman and Johnson. We got Thurman Thomas, 1,282 yards is great. 7 touchdowns, 98 a game. He also caught 300 yards, 22 a game, 2 more touchdowns. And then Tim Brown had 419 yards as a true freshman. Tech, Cunningham ran for 738 and 8 touchdowns, 56 a game. Passed for 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 214 a game. Go to USC. We got Raleek had quite a bit more carries, but Marcus was very good too. 810 yards, 57 a game. Defensively, I don't think Ncaa would have got much. 19 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks and a pick. So didn't play much, but when he did, he was a playmaker. Utah, we got Steve Young, 2,000 yards, 150 a game. Not great, honestly. Added 450 and 4 touchdowns on the ground, which I like. Then wrapping up at UW, we know like Elway not going to play much this year with Penix there, but next year should just step into that role and get a ton of run. And actually, I just remembered there's one player I forgot to check, and that was at Mississippi State. So I seen Rogers led the country in passing. So wow, Jerry Rice, 1,500 receiving yards as a true freshman, 115 a game. Wow, that is incredible. I was just going to see maybe he's their kick and punt returner too. He is not, but that is insane. So Jerry, 1,500 yards as a freshman. I also want to look, just so we can look at the freshman All-Americans, see how many funny of our guys made it. So Troy, Thurman, Jerry were all freshman All-Americans. I'm guessing Reggie White and Dion were as well. And Junior Ncaa was, and Dion was. So there we go. So our boys were making noise. Honestly, Jerry might be a first team All-American at receiver. He is not. He's got to be second team. 1,500 yards. Wow, they didn't give him second team All-American at 1,500 yards. Okay, this guy had 1,600. This guy had 1,100. He probably should have made it over that guy. Okay, so that is going to do it for season 1, guys. Now I'm just going to sim through the off season. We are going to go into season 2, and we're just going to kind of look at the depth chart, see where everybody is sitting, see who's going to be playing a ton this year, who's really set up to, kind of dominate next year. Okay, here we are, start of year 2. Running back, we got Dickerson is now going to be the starter. So there we go. We got Dickerson going to start at running back. If you go corner, they're going to have Dion probably playing the slot, it looks like, again. But look at their 4 corners are incredible. And the other 2 ahead of them are seniors. If we go to free safety, we got Rod's tied with Kareem. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the nod there. Okay, if we go Clemson, it looks like Klubnik actually caught up and might have passed Doug Flutie. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the depth chart says, but Klubnik actually might be the starter this year over Flutie, which would kind of suck. Then we know Will Shipley is going to be the starter, but Barry should get some run. Wide receiver Michael Irvin is going to be the starting wideout. Number 1 wideout, should get a ton of work. Oh, and then defensive end. Reggie White went up to a 93 overall. Going to be one of the best defenders in the country this year. Go to Georgia. We got Troy up to a 94 overall, so he is going to be the starter this year. Then running back, we got Herschel and Bo as their 1-2 punch. That is absolutely scary. Looks like Herschel probably will start this year, but Bo will get a lot of run. Go to Illinois. We have Weeks as their quarterbacks. They got a few sophomores kind of fighting for number 1. We know Sharp is going to be probably the best player on the team, number 1 option, hopefully get the ball a lot. Michigan and our boy DT, he is going to be the starting defensive end, so hopefully gets to do some work this year. Then we have Mississippi State. Should have their quarterback back this year. Yeah, they're getting, oh no, they lost. What was their guy's name? I don't even remember, but I don't think it was this guy. No, yeah, Will Rogers, I think. So they lost him. They got this Sawyer Robertson. Hopefully he still wants to pass the ball to Jerry like he did last year. They could have a pretty scary offense once again. Okay, we go to Ohio State. They got Harrison, Egbuka, and then Carter, then Fleming. So it looks like Carter probably will be playing slot receiver for them this year with Harrison and Egbuka out on the outside. Then if we go DNs, they got JT as their starter. So LT won't really start till next year. And then, yeah, so he'll be their number 1 pass rusher next year, though. Oklahoma, we got Dan Marino starting. Good running back room, good receiver room, good tight ends, good, decent tight ends. So well, I'm expecting Dan to put up some big stats for OU this year. Okay, gonna go down to A&M. We look at their QB. They got Wiegman starting this year. Hopefully he's able to, get the ball out of his hands and make some plays. They're going to have Thurman Thomas starting there, and then Tim Brown is going to be their number 1 option with Evan Stewart as well. So both those boys should be putting in some work. We got Texas Tech wide receiver. They have a stud with Bradley, and they gotta get some young guys cooking there. Some okay running backs, and then their superstar Randall Cunningham went up to a 94 overall as a sophomore. If we go to USC, they got Caleb Williams for 1 more year. They got Marcus Allen, who is going to be starting over Raleek Brown this year. And then middle linebacker, Gentry is going to be starting over Seau, unless Seau is going to be playing. No, probably not outside. They have a really good linebacking room. So yeah, Seau's not really going to be playing much this year. Go down to Utah. We got Steve Young starting, obviously. Going to be hopefully a little better this year. Really nice running back room. Some okay, not great receivers to throw to. A nice tight end. So hopefully Steve can pick it up a little bit. They have a good, look at their defender. So they have an amazing defense. So we'll see. And then going over to UW, we got John Elway starting, 93 overall. A nice running back with a nice backup. They have Odunze, McMillan, and Polk still. They're going to have Polk next year. Yeah, so Elway should be an absolute smash this year. Some okay tight ends. So that is where everyone is looking like going into year 2. So now we're going to get into this next year, guys. We're going to start watching more games and just follow along. Kind of the same thing, but hop in more games over year 2. All right, guys, so here we are at the start of year 2. We're going to quickly look through the preseason polls, just see where kind of some of our teams sit. And first we have Georgia. 3 of our players, yeah, they got Aikman and the 2 running backs, Bo and Herschel. We got Bama with 3 of our guys as well, Dickerson, Sanders, and Woodson. Ohio State with Chris Carter and LT. USC with Marcus Allen. So we have top 4 teams all have our guys on them. Then Michigan with Derek Thomas, OU with Dan Marino. Washington, I think, could be really good with John Elway this year. Utah with Steve Young is going to be very good. When do Utah and Washington play? Ooh, they actually don't play this year. That's kind of surprising. I guess one's north-south, but damn, that would have been a sick game to catch. Going through the rest... Mississippi State in the top 10 as well. So that kind of looks like all our teams. Now, I want to look through here and try to find us. I'm going to look through some of these schedules and try to find us a good game for about the midway point of the year. Okay, I found us USC and Washington. I think this could be a sick game. It's about week 5. So we're definitely, I think that's the first game we're going to check out this year. We're going to look through just a few other things. So Heisman watch, none of our guys up in the Heisman watch. That's all good. We'll look preseason All-Americans. We might have some. Not there. What about defense? Oh, Reggie White, first team All-American preseason as a sophomore. So that's kind of crazy. He might be the only one, but that's pretty wild. We'll see if we have any second teams. Yeah, no second team. So we got one first team All-American though, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so I'm going to sim to that first game. It is going to be USC Washington. So this is going to be week 7. So they're the 4-14 team. We're going to sim to this point and then, you know, probably check it out. All right. So here we are in week 7, 4-1 USC, 3-1 Washington. So both ranked. This is going to be Marcus Allen and Junior Seau against John Elway. I'm really excited to see Elway. He still's got Odunze, McMillan. I think he's got basically all his receivers. So yeah, this UW team's gonna be good. USC has Marcus Allen, Caleb Williams still, so they're gonna be very good, obviously. So this is where they sit. USC 8th in offense, UW 49th. So USC definitely looks like the better team on paper, but we will obviously have to see on the field. Okay, we're gonna watch some of this UW first drive. They actually just hit a pass first play, but I want to see John Elway in this spread offense just cook. He's going to do a little handoff here. Nice little counter. Running back explodes for a big gain. We'll probably watch the first drive for both these teams and then just start kind of simming through the game and then go to the 4th quarter. But yeah, so here's John in shotgun, trips to the top of the screen here. Another little handoff. Okay, 2nd and 11. What do we got, Mr. John Elway? Another read option. Okay, so they're getting really run heavy right here. 3rd and 15 though. This has got to be a pass. Let's see if Elway's got something in this right arm. Drops back, sets up plenty of time. Only a 3-man rush, and he delivers a strike to Taj Davis. That was a nice pass by Elway. Had all the time in the world to really diagnose this SC secondary. Only rushed 3, gave him a ton of time. Okay, here we go. Shotgun again. Looks like they're really trying to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down. Elway is obviously good, but he is a sophomore, so I'm sure they're just trying not to get too aggressive against this obviously pretty talented USC team. Another run, just draw. So we got 3rd and 4 here. Trips to the bottom. Could be another run though. This is definitely running possible distance. Okay, drops back, sets up another nice 3rd down conversion for Mr. Elway. That was Jalen Polk, one of his big stud receivers. Looking like they're probably going to... Oh, no, they're going to pass on 1st down here. Change it up. Straight drop back. Plenty of time. Fires a dot in there. They're not letting Elway throw it every play, but when he does, he is striping it. That is what we like to see. I'd be pretty... So 4 for 4 for 52 yards, including a 3rd and 15 conversion and another 3rd down conversion for John Elway. So he's playing good. Oh! My goodness, they try a little quick screen to the outside, and that should have been a pick 6. So John got away with one there. Here we go. Elway trips to the bottom here. Okay, another pass. It's going to be 3 straight passes. A little out route along the sideline, and he's going to be down at the 1 yard line. Romo Dunzier. 1 yard rush. Okay, so they just scored there. Actually simmed one play, but there we go. So UW, we got to see a great drive from Elway there. Cap it off with a touchdown pass. Oh, to run at the end. But he's like 5 for 6 for like 60 yards. Really good drive. Okay, so here we go. Marcus Allen in the backfield. He's going to go up to the flats. Caleb Williams is going to hit him, and he pushes his way for about 15 yards. This is a pretty dynamic backfield right now between Marcus Allen and freaking Caleb Williams. That is pretty freaking scary for the rest of the Pac-12. So here we go. Caleb again. Handoff to Marcus, getting downhill. He's a big boy. He's like 6'2", 215. He is not going to go down easy. He has deep speed, very good receiver. So he is a complete back for these Trojans. This is where he obviously went to in real life as well. Okay, here we go. Marcus in shotgun beside Caleb, running a little swing pass. He's going to, ooh, that is a strike. Caleb Williams, 30 yards down the field. Okay, a little pistol look with Caleb and Marcus Allen. Gonna do a little handoff here. Gets upfield, only gain and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Okay, here we go. 2nd and 10. Shotgun look. A little draw to Allen. He makes a nice move in the hole and then truck sticks somebody to get it to about 3rd and 6 here. Allen still on the field with Caleb. Screen pass could definitely be something. Even just hit him in the flats, or he could push it down the field, obviously. A little screen pass out to Marcus Allen. Oh! He gets shoestring tackled. It looked like there was a ton of room there. Oh, and they're going to kick the field goal. I thought they might go for it. So there we go. That was the first drive for SC. We got to see some nice plays by Marcus Allen. So now we're going to start kind of super sim till the 4th quarter. And if it's close, we'll kind of hop in and watch some more. UW just went down and scored again. 14-3, 14-10. Okay, we'll go to halftime here. 24-10. Halftime lead for UW. But then, oh my goodness, USC has a crazy 3rd quarter. It is officially 34-30 for USC, and they have the football. We got a 3rd and inches here. Huge down. USC's trying to put a stranglehold. If they're able to score a touchdown here, that might be a wrap for UW. Oh, they almost got him to jump offside. Okay, here we go. Handoff to Marcus Allen, and he's able to just get that 1st down. Okay, I'm going to keep simming. UW can just not get off the field. Looks like they're going to be able to hold them to a field. Oh, they go for it on 4th down, and they're able to score. So now it's going to be an 11-point lead. Here we got a big 3rd and 7 for John. Let's see what he can do with this. He's going to need a pretty crazy comeback here to get this win. Gonna do a little, oh my goodness, Elway goes down. Looks like they were trying to set up a screen or something. That is probably gonna do it. We'll go next change of possession. And yeah, USC is able to go down and score. That is gonna wrap it up. Very high scoring game, 55-36. Caleb Williams went absolutely off. It's a little too much for UW to handle, but they were in it. They had a lead in the 3rd quarter. So, you know, it was a close game, but SC's able to take it. Look at some stats from this one. John had a great game. 27 of 36, 429. He had 2 picks, but 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Polk and McMillan both went off, and Dunzier was a little bit quiet. Gary Bryant was their big receiver today. And then Marcus Allen, 118 and a touchdown. And he had 44 receiving yards. So Marcus Allen had a great game in the win. All right, so now here we are through week 9. So we're through week 8. We're going to go through the top 25 right now. So Bama undefeated at the top with 3 of our guys on that team. Oregon there, Ohio State undefeated, Utah with Steve Young at the helm undefeated, USC, who we just watched, 6-1, Georgia's 6-1, Oklahoma's 5-1, UW, who we just watched, 4-2. That's kind of our teams. Mississippi State 5-1. I know them and Bama play at the end of the year in a few weeks. So that might be the game we need to check out. I want to look at Utah's schedule as well. They don't really have any of our teams. So I think we're going to go check out, let's say Georgia. Yeah, I think Alabama, Mississippi State could be a good one. Oh, OU. I want to see OU's schedule. Ooh, is that Texas Tech? Tech is is 1-5, but I would like to see. That would be Cunningham versus Marino. So I think we're actually going to go to that one. I always want to see the QBs when we can. We'll look at the Heisman watch. We'll go look at the stats as well. Braylon, Caleb Williams, Nick Singleton. Yeah, let's look at some of these stats for the guys, and then we'll look at the stats again at the very end of the year. So first we have Bama. Dickerson is the lead back this year. He's got 767 yards for 109 a game, 6 touchdowns. That's really good. He's also got 6 receptions for 73 yards, so he's getting another 10 receiving yards per game. If we go defensively, Dion, 1 tackle for a loss. He does have 2 picks. So that's pretty sick for Dion. So he's got 3 picks and 2, just kind of at the start of year 2. So he had 1 last year too, at least. How many do you have last year? Yeah, he had 2 last year. They're at 4 picks. And, he's only through about a season and a half, and he's not even starter. Woodson has a pick as well, not playing a ton. He's only got 1 tackle in the year, but he also has a pick. So do with that what you will. They hopefully both will be getting more playing time by next year. Okay, gonna go to Clemson. So, they are still starting Flutie over Klubnik. He's looked like he's playing a bit better. Yeah, definitely better this year. 232 a game, 15 touchdowns, only 6 picks. Barry is the backup, but this is going to be Shipley's last year. So next year it'll be just Barry and Doug back there. Barry 6.1 yards per carry, 63 a game. Doug's adding another, 20 or 30 yards a game on the ground, 20. He's fast though. He should be adding a little more. So I would expect that to start go up a little bit. Michael Irvin is their number 1 receiver, 470 yards, 17 yards per receptions. Great. 7 touchdowns, 78 yards a game. That is all good. And then Reggie White, he's got 11 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks on the year, 3 pass deflections, a forced fumble. So looks like a pretty good year so far. If we just kind of look what he had last year, he had 7.5 sacks and 25. So yeah, he's doing about what he did last year probably. Okay, gonna go Georgia. Georgia was 6-1. Aikman is starting, 1,479 yards, 20 touchdowns already for 211 yards a game. We'll take that. Rushing, we got Bo and Herschel Walker, the 1-2 punch. Aikman's actually running for 31 yards a game. So Aikman somehow is running for more yards than Flutie, which makes no sense. But Herschel almost 800 yards, 500 almost, and yeah, they're 112 and 70. 5.7 and 6.1 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns to 1. Do either of them get any oh my god, they literally, neither of them has a, oh yeah, sorry, Bo has 2 receptions. That's crazy. They just do not throw to the running backs at all. Okay, gonna go to Illinois, and our man, I always want to call him Shannon Sharp. Sterling Sharp, 6 touchdowns, 514 yards for 85 a game. That is all good. Yeah, nothing wrong with that for Sterling. Okay, we're gonna go to Michigan, and our man Derek Thomas. He's got 18 total tackles, 0 tackles for a loss, 0 sacks. One pass deflection. So not a great year so far for DT. Okay, Mississippi State, and Jerry, 461, 3 touchdowns, 76 yards a game. So last year it was insane. He was at 115 a game. So I think they lost their QB and they're not passing quite as much as they were last year, but Jerry still, 78-6 a game, 3 touchdowns, nothing wrong with that. Okay, gonna go to Ohio State. We got Chris Carter, who's their 4th leading receiver, but literally all 3 of the guys above him are seniors. So he's going to be the number 1 target by next year, averaging about 40 yards per game. So yeah, by next year, he's going to have a big workload. Oh, and they have LT. I don't think LT's even a starter though. Next year, JT, I'm not going to pronounce his name, leaves. So he'll play a lot more, and Sawyer. But yeah, right now he's probably not playing much. Yeah, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack. So okay for a backup role, but would have liked LT to get more playing time early. Okay, Oklahoma with Dan Marino, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Probably not adding much on the ground, 179 and a touchdown as well for 30 yards per game. Okay, gonna go A&M. Thurman Thomas, 588, 5 scores, 73 yards per game. That's not bad. Receiving, Tim Brown, 452, 15 a reception, 4 touchdowns, 56 a game. And Thurman's averaging 31 a game on the ground as well, and 2 touchdowns. So Thurman's pretty good all-around back for A&M. We go down to Texas Tech. I believe they're 1-5. 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, almost 300 a game for Cunningham. And he's the leading rusher on the team, averaging 55 a game with 3 touchdowns. So he is a one-man offense back there, but probably doesn't have enough help around him. Okay, going to go to SC. We got Caleb. We got Marcus Allen, 569, only 4.8 yards per carry, which isn't great. 81 a game. If we look at his receiving, he is averaging, he's 300 yards, so averaging 43 receiving yards a game and 5 touchdowns. So he's kind of, all around receiving, running, doing it legit all for SC. Then they do have Junior Seau as well, but once again, he's in kind of a backup role right now. Yeah, he's got 5 tackles on the year. 3 tackles for a loss, but and a pass deflection. So that's it for Junior. Okay, then wrapping it off with 2 QBs in Utah. We got Steve Young, 1463. Not enough touchdown, decent yards per game, but we'd like those numbers up a little bit. Steve, 150. Yes, I'm really not running the ball. Like Aikman's getting more rushing yards than Steve Young, which once again makes no sense. Then John Elway at UW, 1391, 11-8. So okay, probably expect a little better. 239, 40 yards per game and 5 rushing touchdowns though is pretty good for Mr. Elway. Okay, so now guys, I think we're gonna go. I'm gonna check here, but I think I want to go to this game right here in week 12. So it's gonna be Texas Tech versus Oklahoma. Definitely a game, 2 of our QBs playing each other. I think this will be a cool game to check out. Okay, so it is a 1-7 Texas Tech team against 7-1 Oklahoma, so it's probably not going to be close, but I definitely want to see some of this Randall Cunningham in action, and obviously Dan Marino throwing strikes. This is where they sit. Obviously, Oklahoma's a lot better, just statistically. Wow, look at Texas Tech's defense. Allowing almost 40 points per game, almost 500 yards. So they are just so bad. So we're gonna have to. Randall is gonna have to put on his Superman cape. They are on the road, and yeah, this is gonna be a tough one for Tech. This is probably one of the ones where OU's like a 25-point favorite. I don't even know, but that's all right. So we're going to watch both teams' first drives, and then we'll just kind of super sim throughout and see maybe if it's close to the end. So there's Big Cunningham at QB, kind of the old school like Michael, or kind of the old school like Vince Young, Cam Newton type. He's going to throw a dot along the sideline right there, right away. So he can run, he can pass, he's got size. He's 6'4", he's not small. He is a do-it-all player. He played with Randy Moss in the NFL late in his career where he was just throwing it deep every play. He really could do it all way before his time. This Oklahoma field is pretty glitchy right now, but that's all right. We'll just see Cunningham delivering strikes. Already 2 for 2 on this OU defense. Little pistol action here. They're going to look to the sideline for the play call. Cunningham drops back, plenty of time. Another little check down. Running back breaks a tackle, gets 2-3 yards. Here we go again. Little split back look. Gonna look to the sideline here. Get the play call, and they're away. Little handoff. Ooh, the running back pushes his way for a good 3-4 yards. Okay, here we go. Tech again in empty. Cunningham soloed up in the backfield here. Do a little screen pass to the receiver, a little tunnel screen. Get a big gain. Okay, so Tech is trying to make this a game. They score right away. You never know what happens. Like if they're going to win, it's going to be a shootout, but they do have the man to do it in Randall Cunningham. Another little draw play here. This running back is falling forward every time he gets the ball. He's not getting pushed back. Okay, trips to the top once again. Shotgun, little read option. We're going to get to see Cunningham running. He's about a yard short of the first down marker. This Tech offense looks tough. And they are just doing hurry up. They are not giving OU a chance to catch its breath, sub anything. They are keeping this train moving. Okay, here we go. Got someone in the flats, running back, and he's going to throw a strike. That drive was perfect from Cunningham. We got to see him deliver deep shots, short screen passes, run the ball. That was perfect. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, we are going to watch not Troy Aikman, Dan Marino now for Oklahoma. He has got to answer back. They're at home. Big favorite, but he has a killer across from him at quarterback, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 3. You do not want to give Randall Cunningham the ball right now. Right back and let him try to go down and score. Marino's got to get a drive going here. They're going to line him up in empty. Dan Marino, one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. Big, strong, power arm, delivers that strike on 3rd and 3. Big time strike from Dan Marino. Okay, shotgun look here. Trips to the top of your screen. Little handoff right up. Gets downhill. This Tech defense is not good. So Javonte Barnes looks like he's having a great year, and you're probably going to get a big dose of him today. Okay, here we go again. Trips to the top of the screen. Drops back, fires a strike. That is a nice ball for Marino. He's got that lightning quick release, able to deliver that strike for 26 yards. And this Tech defense, when they got to that 3rd down, I was like, okay, maybe this Tech defense can do something with OU, but now it's not looking like it so much. Okay, under center here for Marino. Hard count. He's going to do a little sprint out and throw across his body, incomplete. Okay, pistol look here. Well, oh my gosh, they're doing a little read option with Dan Marino. He truck sticks someone. I don't know if that's in Marino's bag, but apparently it is. He goes down to Oklahoma and they teach him how to run the football a little bit. Okay, shotgun, trips to the bottom, running back to Marino's left. They're going to do another QB run with Marino, and he gets inside the 5-yard line. Marino is leading OU right down the field, and we might have a freaking back and forth barn burner. Texas Tech is going to just have to keep up offensively, though. Cunningham cannot let up on the gas pedal. He's just got to keep pushing. Fullback falls forward for 2 yards. Oh, there it is. I simmed one play, but there we go. So OU goes right down and answers. We are going to go to the next quarter here. We'll see what the score is. Okay, 7-7 still after 1. Wow, 21-14. Texas Tech lead at half. 28-20 Tech lead. Dan Marino intercepted by Tech. And they score. Cunningham to Bradley for 36 yards. We might be witnessing an all-time upset. 1-7 versus 7-1 top 10 team, and they are up 15 on the road in the 4th quarter. And Oklahoma is just running the ball every play. You're gonna have to pass here, guys. Okay, we'll watch from here. So they ran the ball, but that just ate like 3 minutes. They've ran 45 times, only passed 28. You're losing by 2 scores here, Oklahoma. You have like national title hopes. You have it all on the line here. You put up 20 points against probably the worst defense in the country. Okay, we're gonna go one play. Okay, we got a 3rd and 9 here for Dan Marino. He's 8 of 13 on 3rd down, which is great, but I don't know why they're running the ball so much. You got to score quick here. Okay, Marino, they do a draw. Do they not trust Dan Marino? Oh, they went for it. I thought they were going to kick a field goal. That is going to do it here, guys. 8 yards, 7 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards. We got a 3rd and 1 here. That is going to do it, though. Tech goes on the road and upsets Oklahoma, led by Randall Cunningham. Their defense showed up. Cunningham's going to drop back, gets another 1st down here, and the OU faithful has just got to be flabbergasted. 5 passing touchdowns for Randall Cunningham. He has been incredible. On the road in Oklahoma with a 1-7 team, the worst defense in the country, and gets the upset of all upsets. Knocks Oklahoma out of national title contention. This is incredible. This is why quarterbacks are the ultimate X factor. You never know what one of these guys is going to do. He's going to drop back and completes another ball on 3rd down. Wow. Oklahoma. What do you say? Cunningham's going to kneel this one out. 2-yard rush. Sim play. That is going to do it. Cunningham, 342 total yards and 5 touchdowns. Crazy. An absolute superstar at Tech. You know, they had Patrick Mahomes. This is a new version of Mahomes. You know, this is their next version. 1-7 or 2-7 is not great, but a type of win like that on the road basically can just make your whole season. Knocks off a top 10 team, and Oklahoma just doesn't pass the ball enough. Cunningham, 330, 5 touchdowns, ran for another only 12 yards, but yeah, spread it around, hitting a bunch of different receivers. If we look at Marino, yeah, when they let him throw it, oh, he threw 3 picks. So that is why they were a little anxious to let him. They ran the ball really well, but 3 turnovers by Marino seals Oklahoma's fate, and Tech gets the upset of all upsets. Wow, I'm glad we watched that one. Okay, now we're just gonna sim through the rest of the regular season, go to conference championship weekend, and we'll see what else we can find. Okay, so here we are in conference championship weekend. Let's look at some of this top 25. So we got Bama's gonna play 5 Georgia. We're watching that. Just doesn't even matter. That's all you gotta say. Utah undefeated, led by Steve Young. They got to beat number 8 Oregon though. USC 1 loss, Georgia 1 loss. So this USC, Georgia, Ohio State's out of it though. They must have lost to Michigan. Oh, they lost to Penn State. And Penn State's in. Georgia wins, and like Utah and Penn State lose, Georgia could get in. But we have 3 undefeated teams, so if they all win, I mean, 2 of them are in. But yeah, okay, so Bama, Georgia, we are definitely gonna hop in and watch that game. In that game, we are gonna have 6 of our players. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And yeah, SEC championship game, national title, you know, appearance on the line. And didn't we watch this last year? And Georgia beat Alabama, who was undefeated and didn't make it. So I'm pretty sure that happened last year. But yeah, so that's where they sit. So Georgia's actually better offensively. Bama's better defensively, but both pretty close, honestly. Dickerson, Rod Woodson, Kareem Jackson in their top 3. Malachi Starks, Troy Aikman, and Herschel Walker. So once again, watch the first drive for both teams, and then just kind of sim through and see, you know, if it's close to the end or big drives, big plays, anything like that. Okay, so here we go. Bama's gonna start. They're gonna have Eric Dickerson in at running back. Absolute freak of nature, like 6'2", 6'3", 215, runs like a deer, and wow, Greg McElroy keeps it and goes down. Like I kind of mentioned earlier in the video, guys, I did an Alabama where I reset Alabama to like 2008, built Alabama through the years with real recruiting classes, and I forgot to reset Alabama back to their normal roster. That's why it's like the 08 Alabama team. But so McElroy dumps it off underneath, and tight end gets a big gain right there. Okay, here we go. Dickerson yet to touch the ball, but I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a little handoff here. Motioning that tight end across the formation. They're gonna set up nothing, but McElroy, they're letting McElroy push it down the field here early. Still nothing from Dickerson. You got to imagine they're want to get him the ball. No, still nothing to Dickerson. Throw. Oh, no, that was complete. I thought that was going out of bounds. Dickerson still touchless on this first drive. There we go. Finally get it to Dickerson, and he is going down for a loss of 3 on the play. Okay, here we go again. Shotgun look with McElroy, kind of tight end H-back moving across the formation here. Little dump off. They're going to dump it off to Dickerson on the screen pass. He had a crease, I thought. 3rd and 5. He gets stopped. 8-yard gain, though. I thought he could have turned that corner and got up the sideline, but they get a nice tackle there, you know, after about 8 yards. But here we go, 3rd and 5. McElroy directing traffic, straight drop, has plenty of time, but he's going down. Big sack for that Bulldogs defense. That is going to be a punt for Alabama. Here we go. So now we're going to watch Aikman. We also have Deion Sanders and Rod Woodson on the other side. I don't know how much either of them is going to play. Deion's more of a slot back. Troy running speed option. Troy pitches it out to Bo Jackson. Was that all 3 of them in the backfield there? Fake to Herschel. Troy Aikman speed option where he pitches it to Bo Jackson. Okay. That is what we want to see. Okay, we got Troy and Herschel in the backfield here. Deion might be in the slot there. Going to do a little dump off to Ladd McConkey there. Okay, here we go. Under center here for the Bulldogs. That might be Herschel or Bo. That's Herschel, I think, going down for about a 1 yard gain, 3rd and 5. Can't believe we had all three in the backfield on the first play. And Bo just gets a big, like, 25-yard carry. Okay, here we go. Troy, shotgun, Herschel beside him. Herschel is their lead back right now at Georgia. A little tunnel screen, and he's going down. So both defenses come up big and get first drive punts. So now we're going to kind of sim through here. We're going to go next change. We'll go to the end of the quarter here. Yeah, so 0-0. Defense is playing well so far. Okay, so 7-6 Georgia at half. So we're going to go to the fourth quarter. So 21-14 Georgia. Bama has the ball and trying to put a drive together. 19 yards to Pretense. Burton. 3rd and 3. We're going to hop in right here. So 6:33 left in the fourth quarter. SEC championship. Undefeated Bama trying to beat Georgia and go to the national championship game. We got McElroy in shotgun with Eric Dickerson split to his right. The Georgia Bulldogs defense has done a good job today. 14 points allowed to this pretty high-powered Alabama offense. Gonna do a little read option with Dickerson and McElroy gets the edge. That is huge. Okay, we're gonna sim. Okay. Oh, they get it. Okay, so I was trying to sim to a 3rd down, but McElroy passes it to Burton for a 15-yard touchdown. We got 21 all, boys. Okay, 14 yards. Bowers, Adonai Mitchell. Okay, we have a huge 3rd and 8 here for Troy Aikman and the Georgia Bulldogs. They do not want to punt it off to Bama. So here we go. Troy drops back. Plenty of time. Has someone kind of open over the middle. We have a flag. Is that PI? Did the DB get there a little early? Yes, they're calling on the middle linebacker. Pass interference on a 3rd and 8 where they don't convert. Wow. 14-yard penalty. Okay, 7-yard rush Aikman. 6-yard rush Aikman. 2nd and 12. 3rd and 9. So we have another huge 3rd down. Georgia is in field goal range, obviously, but here it is, all on the line right here. Troy Aikman drops back, has a little hook right there, and he holds on. Wow, great drive here for Georgia. They did get help by that penalty, but hey, okay, 2nd and 8, 10-yard penalty. 3rd and 10. Okay, we have another 3rd down, 2:50 left. Bama needs a stop. They got to hold him down to 3 right here and get the ball back for. Oh, and they're going to do a handoff to Herschel Walker, who gets absolutely decimated in the hole. I'm not sure about that play call for Georgia, but hey, field goal is good. Okay, we're going to sim McElroy pass throwaway. 3rd and 6. So here's a huge 3rd down for Alabama. 2 minutes left. Stuck 3. It's all ahead of them right here. We got McElroy and Dickerson in the backfield. Kind of a spread look here. And they're going to wind this down. They're going to do a screen pass to Dickerson. Gets a block, and he's about a yard short. It is going to be 4th and 1 here for Alabama. So this is it. Game on the line. If they don't convert, it's basically over. If they do, they are alive. Okay, they're doing another screen to Eric, and he does have more room this time, and he's able to stumble forward for 11 yards and get that 1st down. Okay, we're going to just incomplete to Dickerson. Oh, dropped by Dickerson. All of a sudden, we're 3rd and 10 again. I don't want to watch too much of this, guys. I just don't want it to get too long. So that's why I'm kind of super simming and watching. I just don't want it to get too long. Okay, here we go. McElroy, 3rd and 10. He's going to drop it down to Dickerson, who gets 3 yards. We got 4th and 7 with 57 seconds left. Once again, game on the line. This is it for Bama. National title hopes, on the brink right here. And here we go. Drops back and he's going down. I don't know what that was. That looked goofy, but that is going to do it. Georgia, for the 2nd straight year, is going to knock off Bama in the conference championship game. Okay, so they're going to give Bama the ball back. For some reason, Georgia went for sometimes the clock management, guys. I don't know. It's insane. So technically, Bama has 22 seconds to try to go get a field goal. Let's see. Clock management is wild. They're getting. Oh my god. That was. They got -2 yards to their fullback. and the clock is running. So that's basically going to do it. Once again, like I said, Bama is going to get knocked off unless they hit a Hail Mary now. Going to get knocked off for the second straight year. They were undefeated going into the SEC championship game, lose to a one-loss Georgia. I'm pretty sure it was the exact same scenario last year. So Georgia just taking it to Bama in these games and just crushing their hopes. And Georgia, if one of those other undefeated teams takes an L, Georgia could easily be in the national title. So this was an absolutely massive game. That is going to do it. Bama goes down. Troy Aikman celebrates at the middle of the field. Georgia Bulldogs beat undefeated Alabama. McElroy, 282, 2 touchdowns. Dickerson, 68 yards rushing. He also had 27 yards receiving. We look at Georgia. Herschel had 56 yards receiving. He had 52 yards rushing. Bo had that one carry at the start. Aikman, 14 yards rushing, and he had 244 yards and a touchdown. Okay, so like I said, yeah, Georgia, if one of those teams ahead of them takes an L, Georgia is right there. They will make the national championship, I'm pretty sure. So we're just going to sim to the next week. Utah would be a fun game. Troy versus Steve Young. I'm down for that. Braylon wins the Heisman. None of our guys really in the running there. Oh, I just seen it. So it's Georgia, Penn State. Wow. Michigan 6-6 playing Oklahoma. USC, Texas. So one loss USC does not make it. They take and one loss Ohio State. So they take the one loss Georgia team over them. Alabama plays 2-loss Oregon. Where did Utah fall to? Because they were the other undefeated team. So Utah loses in the Pac-12 championship. That must have been 2 US. Oh, no, they played Oregon. And Oregon won, yeah. Because Oregon, is number 4. So, wow, we could have... Penn State would have made it either way. I want to see, where's Clemson at? Like, why are they so bad? 7-5. Damn, hopefully they can pick it up a little. Okay, we're going to watch some of this Penn State-Georgia game, but we've just watched Georgia. This will be our 4th game this year, so I'm not going to watch a ton of this unless it's down to the end. So I'm not going to watch the first drive again. We're just going to super sim through. Almost identical offensively. Very close defensively. Penn State has a little bit better of a defense, it looks like. So there's definitely an argument these are the best 2 teams in the country, for sure. Okay, so like I said, we're going to sim through. We'll just go through the first quarter here. Okay, 7-7, close game. Ooh, 21-7, Georgia. Penn State marches back with 2 touchdowns of their own in the 3rd quarter. And now 4th quarter, we got a tie ball game. We got split back looks here with Bo and Herschel and Troy together in the red zone, trying to score a touchdown to go up 7. What do we got, Troy? Let's see another one of those triple options. Okay, here we go. There's a little speed option there, but they aren't able to get anything going. 2nd and goal. Oh, okay. Super sim 1 play. So Troy Aikman to Adonai Mitchell, and Georgia goes up. We're going to go next change of possession here. Drew Allard takes Penn State down and scores. So we're going to, 3rd and 16 for Troy right here. Oh, huge loss there. Georgia on the ropes a little bit here. They have a little screen pass dialed up. Troy gets hit. That was ugly. Didn't love that sequence for Georgia. And all of a sudden now there's 4:22 left. Penn State football, and they're going to go try to 4th and 2. Okay, whatever. Watch. Oh, no, they're punting. Okay. Didn't need to watch this, but Penn State is punting back to Georgia, so they're going to have a chance to go down and score to win the Natty. Okay, punter puts it deep. Who's their returner? Not Bo or Herschel, which I was hoping for. Kind of gets tripped up. Okay, so here we go. Troy Aikman all on the line with the Bulldogs. Are you going to be able to take them down to score? So 3rd and 1. We'll watch the 3rd down here. They're about 50% on 3rd down, 6-12. Okay, Troy, a little speed or a little read option, gets the defense. Wow, and Troy rumbles up the sideline for 27 yards. Aikman, 48 yards rushing. He's pumped. He's happy. Throw away. Okay, 21 yards, 2 yards. Oh. 3rd and 17. So they are obviously in field goal range here. They don't need to get crazy aggressive, but you probably want to try to go score here. End it. Oh, that was a pass into traffic to Ladd, but it is complete. There was 2 defenders right there. Oh, that is a nice throw by Troy. A little bit dangerous. Field goal is good. Okay, we're just going to sim through here. 7 yards, 14 yards. Drew Aller throwaway. Okay, we got a 3rd and 5 for Penn State here. If they score, it's, you know, not over, but okay, they can just kick a field goal also. He's going to throw it, and it's picked off. Picked off, Bulldogs, and that should do it. Drew Aller throws a bad pick when you're in field goal range. They did throw it for 471 yards on the Bulldogs, but that is an awful throw. 5 yards. First down, 8 yards by Herschel, 9 yards by Herschel. Aikman kneels, and that is it. The Georgia Bulldogs are national champions, led by Troy Aikman, who had a great game. Herschel Walker, Bo, all get a natty, bring it to Georgia with the Bulldogs. Knock off Penn State, who could have just kicked a field goal there and tied it. Drew Aller gets a little greedy, tries to throw it into the end zone and gets picked off with about a minute left, and that will do it. Wow. Let's look at some stats for this one. We got Troy 332 and 3 touchdowns. Herschel 111 yards on the ground. Aikman added another 40-ish. Herschel also had 30 receiving yards. So there we go. That is it. Done. Bulldogs winning. I mean, they're going to have a chance to keep winning. They got Herschel Walker, Troy Aikman, and Bo Jackson on offense. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the last we're going to be seeing of those boys. Okay, we're going to send to the end of the bowl season here. Now we're just going to look at the stats for the year. Okay, so we are in, through that second season, all these guys sophomore campaigns. Georgia wins it all. They are national champions. We got SC in second, one of our teams. Ohio State 1 loss. Utah 1 loss. Bama ends up with 2 losses to lose their last 2 games of the year after being undefeated. Oklahoma 3 losses. So that was kind of our teams. Mississippi State 4 losses. Okay, Heisman we already looked. None of our guys won, or we're even in the top 5. We'll look at All-Americans though. So first team, none of our guys on offense or defense. If we go second team, nobody on offense or defense. So no All-Americans this year. We're gonna look through each guy's stats though, see how they look. So Dickerson, 1,500. He easily could have been an All-American. 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 107 a game. Great year. He also added 250 on the ground. So he had 1,800 total yards for Eric Dickerson as a sophomore. Okay, go down to Clemson, who once again was a little disappointing this year. Passing, we got Doug Flutie, 2,800 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 9 picks. Not a bad year. Will Shipley was really good. Barry behind him, 5.3 yards per carry, 50 a game. Will be the starter by next year. Irvin had a nice year, 846, 10 touchdowns, 65 yards a game. If we go on defense, Reggie, 24 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. So he easily could have been All-American AM. 5 pass deflections, a forced fumble. So if we look at his just 2 years, he actually had more sacks this year, more pass deflections, more forced fumbles, less tackles, but yeah, 1 less tackle for a loss. So yeah, really good year for Reggie White. He's definitely been, seems like the best defender so far. Oh, that's what I forgot to look at. I forgot to look at Bama defense. So first we got Dion. He had 31 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, no sacks. He did end up with 2 picks on the year. Rod had 8 tackles, one INT. So Rod should be the starting by next year. They both should be like, have bigger roles by next year for sure. Okay, Clemson, Georgia. So Aikman, national championship in year 2, 3,200 yards, 38 touchdowns, 9 picks, 230 a game. Rushing, Herschel, 1,621 yards. Bo, 853. What a 1-2 punch. Absolutely incredible. Like, there's an argument those are like the 2 most dominant college running backs ever. So that is crazy. So Ladd and Brock, each over 1,000 yards. They did not throw to Bo or Herschel, barely at all. Illinois. And, ooh, Sterling was okay. I mean, it's probably QB playing offense. 794 yards. Michigan. So yeah, when we looked at about the halfway point, DT had done really nothing. He looked like he picked it up a little bit at least. 4th on the team in tackles, 3 at TFLs, half a sack. So not great, but I mean, at least he's on the score sheet a little bit. Okay, Mississippi State, Jerry, 951. So pretty big step back, 600 yards less, but I think that's offensive approach and QB play probably a little bit. Okay, Ohio State. Now, this is probably going to be the biggest jump next year. Chris Carter, 434 yards, 4 touchdowns, 33 a game, but all the 4 guys ahead of him are seniors. So, and then same with LT. Like LT, what did he have? He basically did nothing. 9 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a sack. So he's 1 sack. Yeah, one and a half sacks through 2 years. But once again, both the DNs are seniors. He should be a starter by next year. Okay, Oklahoma, Dan, 2,400 yards. They just don't throw, though. They are run heavy. Like they're just running the ball. So yeah, he's just not getting a lot of chance to sling it. Okay, gonna go to A&M. We got Thurman, 936, 78 a game, 7 touchdowns. He added 305, so like 1,200 yards on the year. Tim Brown was the leading receiver, but just doesn't look like this offense is that great. If we go to Tech, Cunningham ran for 562, 6 touchdowns, almost 50 a game. He also passed for 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns. 20 picks is too much. If he brings the picks down, but he did get that upset at OU, so that's something to hang your hat on. USC, Marcus Allen, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 86 a game. Then if you look at receiving, 500 yards receiving almost, plus another 9 touchdowns. So Marcus is very good, just kind of do-it-all playmaker. We go to Utah, narrowly missed out on making the national championship with Steve Young, 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, plus ran for 374 yards and 5 scores. And then wrapping it up with UW, we got John Elway, 153 ratings, really good. 2,900 yards, 31 touchdowns, 226 a game, and he ran for another 465 and 5 scores. So that is going to wrap up season number 2, guys. Georgia wins the national championship. We're going to go into season 3 now, see how each player improves, see where they sit on the depth chart. We should have guys, basically everyone should be a starter full-time next year, so that will be fun to see. All right, boys, so here we are at the start of season 3. Now we are going to quickly go through the rosters again, see what all overalls each one of these guys are at, and see kind of where they are at on the depth chart. And oh my goodness, Dickerson is actually tied with Grant, who's a senior, so I don't know, he'll be splitting carries. Hopefully he's in the starter role. We'll go to the secondary. We got at corner, they got Dion, who is, you know, definitely the starter, their number 1 corner this year. They lost a few of their other guys. Then they have 298 overall free safeties. So once again, hopefully I can't do position changes, so hopefully one of them is playing strong safety. Otherwise, that would be insane, but you never know with these depth charts. Okay, then we'll go down to Clemson, and we got Klubnik and Flutie, both 98 overalls. Hopefully, once again, Flutie is starting. Then we got Barry, who's a 97 overall. Obviously, they had a Shipley last year, so he'll be, bar none, the starter. You got Michael Urban, who's actually, has another receiver right there. So they have a really good offense, like 298 quarterbacks and 97 running back, 96, 95, and 93 receivers. Like, they should be able to do some freaking damage. Then we got obviously Reggie White just dominating on defense. So Clemson, I think they had 7 or 8 wins only last year. They really should take a step up this year. Okay, if we go down to Georgia, QB, we got Aikman as a starter. First 99 we've seen, I believe. Herschel Walker, 99. Then Bo Jackson at 97. So they are absolutely loaded at running back. Yeah, that's that for them. We go down to Illinois. We got Sterling Sharp at 96. And the QB is actually all the way up to an 89. So hopefully they're able to put up some, big numbers this year. Go down to Michigan, and Derek Thomas is the best player on the team. A 98 overall, should be, a wrecking crew this year. Hopefully he's able to put up some stats. Go to Mississippi State, Jerry Rice, 98 overall with a 94 quarterback throwing him the ball. So, he has nothing next year. So this might be the final year we see Jerry put up some big stats. Okay, if we go down to Ohio State, they got Kyle McCord as a senior. They actually have a nice sophomore quarterback as well. Yeah, at wide receiver, Chris Carter is their #1 option. So hopefully he gets a lot of run this year. If we go defensive end, we got 97 overall LT stepping in. Should be an absolute freak show this year. So, and he has a 99 defensive tackle beside him. So these two should just be absolutely forces of nature this year. If we go Oklahoma, Dan Marino up to a 99. He has a looks like at least one good round. He's a nice receiving core to throw to. Really nice tight end. So yeah, this Oklahoma offense should be very good. Go down to A&M. A&M, their quarterback, they just always kind of have issues. So they have Thurman Thomas 98 overall. Okay, Weigman's an 89. So yeah, Weigman should be decent this year. Thurman 98 overall. Tim Brown 96 overall, and they still have Evan Stewart as well. So a ton of weapons on offense. We go to Tech, Cunningham 99 overall, but their second best player is their quarterback as well. So some decent running backs, some okay receivers, not much at tight end. So kind of going to be a one-man crew with Cunningham once again. Go down to SC. They got Moss at quarterback. Marcus Allen 99 overall running back. Very good. So yeah, it should be a good offense, and Marcus Allen is definitely their star now. So there we go. Oh, and they got Junior Seau. Yeah, he should be their starting middle linebacker this year, which he is. So yeah, basically there's just the Clemson guys are the only ones who, oh, and Dickerson maybe, which would be kind of insane. Yeah, some of the Clemson and Bama guys. Okay, go down to Utah. Steve Young 99 overall, really good running back along with him. Some okay wide receivers, not great at tight end, so might be a little bit more run heavy at Utah this year. Then we go down to UW. They got John Elway, once again their second best player. Heward is a quarterback. Good running back room though. They lost all their receivers though, so that kind of sucks. Yeah, they lost them all. So hopefully some of those younger receivers can step in. They have really nice tight end room, so it might be a little bit more of a tight end heavy attack this year. But there it is, guys. That is our where everyone sits. I guess we could just really quick look at. So I can't actually affect this. Okay, so Dickerson is starting, but I can't actually affect the depth chart of teams. Like, Rod Woodson is not starting over this Wheeler guy. So once again, Rod is just not going to play this year, which is just insane. And yeah, I can't actually affect that. So it is what it is. Clemson was the other team. Flutie is starting, so that's good at least. So really just Rod Woodson has just been buried and literally won't play till his 4th year. All right, so I also want to look at the top 25 and just see where some of our teams sit. So USC, the #1 team in the country preseason. This has Marcus Allen, obviously. Georgia, defending national champions, have 3 of our players on it. Alabama has 3 of our players. Ohio State with 2. Utah with 1 with Steve Young. If we go down, Oklahoma should be really good on offense. Mississippi State with Jerry, and that's kind of it. Washington should be pretty good this year. A&M, Clemson. I'm really hoping Clemson can, pick it up a little bit this year. They don't play any of our teams. Wow, I was looking at schedules, and week 1 we got Georgia versus Oklahoma. We might have to hop into that. Ooh, or Ohio State. I think we're actually going to do this one. Ohio State and OU. Just because we've watched a ton of Georgia already. So yeah, we're going to sim to Ohio State versus Oklahoma. That'll be the first game we check out. Want to quickly look Heisman watch, see if any of our guys are in there, which they should be, but they won't. Oh, Marcus Allen in 5th. Preseason All-Americans. None on offense. None on D. Damn, doesn't look like we got any on second team as well. That's all preseason though, so whatever. Okay, so we are going to simulate, I think it was about week 4 or 5, and we're going to check out that Oklahoma-Ohio State game. Okay, yeah, so it's week 7, so we're going to sim to this game. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, Oklahoma's 2-2. Ohio State is undefeated, 18 versus 6. That's where we sit. Ohio State is averaging 55 points per game and almost 600 yards. Holy crap. Oklahoma About average offensively and average defensively. So this is a pretty big mismatch right here, but we will have to see what happens. Oh, it's in the rain. Looks like it's in Oklahoma. Yeah, in Norman. We remember last year we watched Oklahoma play Texas Tech and lose. So yeah, we never know. Same thing. We're going to watch the first drive for each team, and then we'll just kind of super sim and watch some third downs and watch some of the last drives. I don't know why this Oklahoma stadium has some glitches in it right now. Kyle McCord kind of going off this season, it looks like. If he's leading them to 55 points a game, yeah, I'd say he's going off. The rain, though, I don't know if this will hamper them at all. So we got McCord. I don't know what number Chris Carter is. I think he's actually at the very bottom of the screen right there. Getting that ball, yeah. 85 is Chris Carter, and he gets first catch of the game for about nine yards. So they lost Egbuka and they lost Marvin Harrison Jr., but they got Chris Carter in the wing. He's going to have a delayed outside handoff, kind of outside zone. He gets a big stiff arm and gets up the sideline. Okay, here we go again. I form under center here. Okay, little toss play. Gets the edge. Oklahoma's got to do a better job of getting the edge set there on defense last two plays. Okay, McCord kind of an empty shotgun look here. Drops back. Plenty of time. Fires it out along the sideline. So they are moving the ball well on Oklahoma so far. Okay, McCord under center. Little play action fake, sets up, has all day. He's going to tuck it and run, tackle. Oh, they're giving him the first down. He fell forward. Okay, McCord under center here. Handoff, puller across the formation, pick up another 4 yards. So they're just easily kind of just working their way down the field here. Okay, I form, another just stretch run, get the edge, break a tackle, get another 4 yards. Okay, I want to see something else to Chris Carter. I feel like they're probably going to be running here, though. Here's a little ace double tight formation. Little speed power option to the outside, and Pryor gets the edge. They are having a tough time containing this back. 54 yards rushing, 10.8 yards carry. I'm going to super sim one play. Another run. Touchdown run. So there we go. There's the first drive. Only threw the ball twice for Ohio State, but they moved the ball with ease. Okay, now we're gonna watch some Oklahoma here. 2nd and 6. We got Dan the man under center here. Single back look. Gonna drop back, do a little draw. Ooh, falls forward, gains about 2 yards. Okay, Marino, shotgun. Straight drop, plenty of time, hits the slant over the middle. That's a big third down conversion for Oklahoma and Dan Marino. Okay, Marino in shotgun. 2x2 look here. Gonna fake the handoff, throw it across his body. That should have been a pick six. J.K. Johnson had a chance to house call that one and drops it. Okay, shotgun, 2x2. Delayed little fake handoff, fires a dot over the middle. Marino, that is a strike. That is why you use that little play action there. Try to hold those linebackers down. Get that deep crosser in behind them. That is picture perfect. Okay, shotgun, straight back. Oh, he's got a lot of pressure. Fade away. Dan Marino is making plays back there for Oklahoma. Had pressure, kind of falling back, fade away for a 10-yard strike. We got 2nd and inches. Okay, trips to the bottom here. Little fake handoff, read option with Marino, who falls forward for another big gain. So Marino leading a great first Oklahoma drive here against a number 6 team in the country, the number 1 scoring offense. You know you have to score points against this Ohio State defense. So yeah, you know they're going to be scoring, so you got to match. Also, we got to keep in mind Ohio State has Lawrence Taylor. It's sometimes harder to kind of pay attention to the defensive players just because it's, you know, it's not like they're going to be impacting every play, but I believe he's the bottom D end right there, number 95 on the bottom of your screen. Okay, motion across the formation, little fake, sitting up in the pocket. Ooh, that's LT. Actually, I think that's a Lawrence Taylor sack, even though it went for, yeah, Lawrence Taylor, 1 tackle for a loss and a sack, even though it went basically back to the line of scrimmage. So we got an LT sack. So yeah, it's him bottom of the screen. Defensive end pointing at the lineman right now. That's a pretty LT thing to do. Oh, free rusher, and he fires in a dot over the middle of the field. That is a great drive. So Marino did it more through the air. Ohio State did it more on the ground, but it is a tie ball game. Great drive. Okay, we're going to go through the rest of the first quarter now. Okay, 14-7 Ohio State. Let's go to half. 21-14 Ohio State. Let's go to the fourth quarter. 28 all. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna start simming through this, watch some third down stuff like that. Okay, we got a big 3rd and 8 here for Ohio State. 7:20 left. Their jerseys are getting dirty. It is muddy. It is gross here in Oklahoma. McCord, a little QB draw on 3rd down. That is an interesting play call for Ohio State. I don't love that, but there you go. So now you're gonna punt this ball back to Oklahoma. We got a 3rd and 3 for OU though. Are they going to put it in Dan Marino's hand, or are they going to try to run the ball? I'm letting Dan Marino pick somebody apart here. Nope, they're going to do, oh yeah, fake draw, hit the slant. That is a perfect play call. I love it. Little play action. Once again, pull those linebackers down, hit that slant, that crosser in behind them. Okay, 2 yards. Okay, we got a big 3rd and 8 now. Now we need another conversion here from Dan Marino. Shotgun 2x2 look. Running back goes out on a swing, hits a little slant over the middle. That is going to be 4th and 1. So just short of the first down marker. Are they going to go for it? They are not. They're going to punt this football away, which is kind of surprising. I probably would have went for it on 4th and 1 at midfield. You're trying to get the upset here over the number 6 team in the country. Punt that out of bounds was not even a great punt. So they only gained about 25 yards there. Yeah, it was a 26-yard punt. But 4th and 1, and Ohio State punts it away. Marino, okay, Marino looks like he might get a bit of a drive going here. 10-yard gain, 32-yard gain inside the 7-yard line for Oklahoma. Trying to upset number 6, 4-0 Ohio State. Little draw, but they get stuffed. Okay, so here it is. 3rd and goal from about the 10-yard line. If Dan can make something happen here, but they're in like goal line. This is really most likely a run play. Maybe they'll do a little play. No, drop, straight drop, fires it into the tight end. He's about a yard short. Ohio State's defense stops him. I mean, it's 4th and goal. I'm assuming he's going to kick the field goal. They do. So Oklahoma is now up 3 against the number 4 team in the country. Number 1 scoring offense. They're holding them to about half their points. And we got 3rd and 8 here for Kyle McCord. Ohio State has just not been as dangerous, not as explosive on offense. I'd be trying to go to Chris Carter here, your best playmaker. McCord's going to tuck it and run. He actually has some green grass, and he gets the first down. And they're going to go hurry up here. Wow, that is a huge scramble for Kyle McCord. Gets that first down, 1:34 left. Okay, drops back. Fires over the, oh, that could have been picked off. McKenzie was right there. McCord, 290 and 3 tutties. Like, he's had a good game, but just not quite where he's usually at. Okay, 3rd and 10. He gets 25 yards to Chris Carter, 13 yards. Now all of a sudden Ohio State is driving. Couple of big pass plays from McCord. Oh, this is like Wildcat or something here. Yep, motion across the field. Gonna have a little power there. Not gonna get anything. 2nd and 12. We're gonna go one more play. Oh, whoa, what did they just get? They just got 1st and goal down to the 1-yard line. I don't even know what it was. Okay, so Ohio State, if they can punch it in here, it is gonna be over. Play action. Fires it in. That was actually going to Chris Carter, but it is incomplete. 2nd and goal from the 1-inch line. Ohio State needs a stop here. They're going to run the ball, and Oklahoma needed the stop, and Ohio State is going to get it. Looking like they're going to be able to keep their undefeated season going, but they do have Dan Marino behind, but under center on the other side. 3rd and 2, big gain there. 22 yards. All of a sudden, Marino is cooking with gas. 17 seconds left, stuck 4. So they need a touchdown. They're about 30 yards out. Marino drops back. Plenty of time. Ooh, I don't like that play call. You're going to have 7-6. They're not going to call their timeout. The clock management in this NCAA game can be insane. So there it is. They call the timeout. Basically, last play here. Dan the man has to go to the end zone. to upset Ohio State. 4-man rush. They do go deep. Oh my God, he caught it. He got flipped on his head. There's 1 second left. I forgot the clock. The clock's not going to start. I don't know. Though they're going to try to kill it. No, there, yeah. If you had about 3 seconds there, wow, the guy held on over the middle, get flipped on his head. But that is going to do it. Ohio State, there's Lawrence Taylor. Oh, no, that was Chris Carter, sorry. Ohio State does hold on and get the win on the road. That's a big win. That is a tough place to play. Go to Oklahoma with Dan Marino and get the win, even though, you know, you kind of snuck it out at the end. That is not an easy victory. In the rain, in the dirt, in the muck. Okay, we'll look at the game stats. So McCord was nice, 356, 3 tutties. Pryor was really good running the ball. Chris Carter, 5 for 88, no tutties. Oklahoma, wow, Bean was incredible. Marino played great. You know, 7 incompletions, 445 yards, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, you cannot put this on Marino. He played very, very well. Just came up a little bit short against a more talented team. All right, so here we are in week 10 now, guys. We're going to look at the top 25, see where our teams are sitting. So Oregon, undefeated, Kentucky, Penn State, Syracuse. So none of our teams, Ohio State, Michigan. Okay, so we'll have a big game there. Georgia, 8-1, one of our teams. Utah, 7-1, one of our teams. Bama, 6-2. Mississippi State, 5-3. That's kind of it. Oklahoma, 4-3. So Clemson, where is Clemson? I want to look. Actually, I don't know. Because I already looked at their schedule and they do not play anybody else, like any of our teams this year. Clemson is 4-3. Yeah, we might have to try to catch them in like a bowl game or something, just because they have 4 of our guys. So we're gonna kind of want to watch them. But look at the Heisman watch. Kyle McCord throwing to Chris Carter, and Robertson's throwing to Jerry Rice. So hopefully those guys are putting up some big stats. We're gonna go look at everybody's stats right now. First, Bama, and we got Grant and Dickerson basically just splitting carries right down the middle. And Grant's actually been a little bit better. So there we go. Defensively, Dion, 2 tackles for loss, half a sack, no picks. Rod, 13 tackles, nothing else. Oh, 2 pass deflections. Okay, if we go down to Clemson. So Flutie is starting, but just his stats have not been good even when he's playing. He's played for the last 3 years, but his stats are not good. Barry, 655. Flutie is averaging another 50 on the ground this year. Barry's just under 100 with 6 touchdowns. We are receiving. Irvin is the #1 option, 78 a game. They're not going to Barry at all out of the backfield. Then defensively, Reggie, 42 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. He's been just the best defensive player out of all of them so far, most consistent. Okay, go to Georgia. Defending national champs, Aikman, 164 ratings, very good. 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 1 pick. Like, if you look at that compared to Flutie, he is just blowing them out of the water. Rushing, Herschel, 1,000, Bo, 764, 10 and 8 for touchdowns. Together, they're averaging 200 yards a game. Absolutely crazy. If we go Illinois, yeah, so Sharp, 476, 67 a game is okay. Okay, go to Michigan. And our man DT, 6 TFLs, 2.5 sacks. So he's making some noise. 3rd on the team in tackles at least. Mississippi State, Jerry, 1,000 yards. So he's having his bounce back year, averaging 131 yards a game. So he's on pace for like 1,700 receiving yards. So he is completely going off. 11 touchdowns as well. And yeah, his quarterback is like 2nd in Heisman voting or something like that. So yeah, those 2 together are absolutely killing it. Okay, Ohio State. Receiving, Chris Carter, 692, 100 a game. So after looking at Rice, that doesn't look crazy, but 100 a game, like he's going to get, 1,400 receiving yards and probably 10 touchdowns. So Carter playing very well. We'll look at LT. 2nd on the team in tackles, 13 TFLs, 4 sacks. So Carter's having a good year. Or sorry, Taylor. Go to Oklahoma. Marino, 173 rating is great. 20 touchdowns, 10 picks is a little high, but almost 400 yards per game. So Marino is going off. Has a few good receivers he's throwing to. This Jaden Gibson is killing it for him. So there we go, Dan. You might actually run a little bit at 134 and a touchdown. So yeah, Marino is playing very well for OU. Okay, A&M. Weigman, good stats for Weigman. 173 rating is very good. Thurman Thomas, 91 a game. That's all good. 733, 11 scores. Tim Brown, 416, averaging 50 yards per game. So they're really just kind of pushing the ball to everybody there. Tech, Cunningham, 138 ratings, actually not great. 17 touchdowns, 11 picks for 260 a game. He's also running for 43 a game. So not running quite as well this year either. So Cunningham's kind of playing okay, but not amazing. USC, Raleek and Marcus are kind of splitting carries, but Raleek's actually been better. Marcus, 72 a game is good. He was a good receiver last year, and he still got 200 yards receiving, another 26 a game. So they are using him as a weapon out of the backfield as well. Oh, we'll look at Junior Seau. Jeez, no tackles. 2 TFLs, no sacks, no picks. Junior, would have liked to see more. Okay, go down to Utah. Steve Young, 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks is good. Also ran for 200 yards, so another 25 a game is decent. Would have thought he would have ran for more, but okay, gonna end it off at Washington. 121 rating is not good for John Elway. 231 a game. He is running for another 43 a game and 2 touchdowns, but not a great year for Mr. Elway. Okay, so I think I'm just going to sim to conference championship weekend and we'll see where we're at. We'll probably watch maybe one of the conference championship, but definitely a bowl game or two. Okay, so here we are, conference championship weekend. Let's look at the top 25. So Penn State undefeated, Syracuse undefeated. So if they both win, but Syracuse has to play North Carolina. So that's a big game. Penn State plays Iowa, Oregon. So none of our teams are even really have a chance at making the national championship this year. Georgia's not even in the SEC championship game. Or Bama? Who's in the freaking SEC championship game? Mississippi State versus Kentucky? Okay. Well, I don't know. So we're not going to really have any big games to check out the conference championship weekend. Yeah, I think we're just going to sim through and get to our bowl games because, yeah, there's not really anything for us to watch. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. Usually, yeah, like none of our teams are even really like, doesn't matter what happens this weekend. I don't think anybody's making it. So Rio Wilson wins the Heisman. None of our guys are on the list. Robertson from Mississippi State, who's throwing to Jerry Rice, does get second. Gonna go through the bowl games here. So it's North Carolina at Penn State. None of our guys. Mississippi State, Texas, Michigan, Notre Dame, Georgia, Rutgers, Arizona, Syracuse, Ohio State, South Carolina. A&M versus Washington. Like, not great records, but that is 2 of our teams. John Elway. Might have to check out that one. I want to see where Clemson is. Utah versus North Carolina State. Oklahoma versus Iowa. Wow, Clemson didn't make a bowl game. They have 4 of our players, guys. That is crazy. So, yeah, there's really not much for us this season. Just as really great matchups. I think we're going to watch A&M versus Washington. This will give us John Elway versus Tim Brown and Thurman Thomas. So that's where they sit. Very similar offense, very similar defense, honestly. So very just pretty even teams. There's Elway. Elway's their big key player. They got Thurman Thomas and Tim Brown in their top. So there we go. Nice day. No rain. Okay, once again, we'll kind of watch some of these first drives here and then just kind of super sim through. So Weigman's going to be in shotgun here, split back look, little fake handoff, swing pass out to the edge. That is not Thurman, though. That's the other running back. So Tim Brown, I believe, is 81 at the bottom of your screen also, and then that should be Thurman soloed up in the backfield with Weigman right there. Motion the tight end across the formation. Little draw to Thurman, and he is going down. Okay, huge 3rd and 12. You have Tim Brown. I would be going to him. He's at the top of the quads right there, the very outside receiver. Drops back, going deep down the field. Looks like he got a foot in. There we go. There's a big... Oh, he was out of bounds. I thought he dragged that back foot, but there we go. A&M is going to punt this football, and we got John Elway. This is actually nice field position here for UW. Elway hands it off on a little stretch, but they are going down. Okay, here we are again. Elway in shotgun, trips to the top of the screen here. So hands it off, gets downhill again, and fights forward for about 8 yards. That's a big gain for Will Nixon. Okay, empty set here on 3rd and 2 for Elway. Gonna drop back, sets up, fires it out to the flats, and they get the first down for Washington. I'm gonna sim a little bit here. 1 yard, 6 yards. Okay, we got a big 3rd and 3 here for Washington again. See if Elway can convert. Shotgun. Straight drop. He's gonna try to tuck it and run, and Elway is going down. There's a big sack for A&M. Okay, we're gonna go till the 4th quarter here, and we'll just see if it's close. 14-0 A&M. Elway needs an answer here. 21-10 at the half. 28-17. Okay, they just scored again. So 34-17. We'll go next change of possession here. Elway's able to go down and score though, and they're about to get the ball back. So here we go. Let's see what Elway can do. 8 yards, 3rd and 1, 3 yards. Okay, we got a big 3rd and 8 here for Elway. Needs a conversion. Split backs, 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Drops back, slides in the pocket, drops it off, and his running back actually fires forward for a pretty nice pickup there. Okay, 3 yard, 5 yards. 4th and 2. And they go for it and they pick it up. 21 minus 3. 8 yards. Here's a 3rd and 4. Elway shotgun, trips to the top. Only 3 minutes left. They're down 10. So they need a quick score here and a stop. Pressure in his face. Fires that out along the sideline though. Elway, that's a strike. We're going to sim 1, 5 yards, 1 yard. And they score. So there we go. There's a score. Now they need a stop and get the ball back. So 2-yard rush Weigman, 7-yard rush Thurman. We got 3rd and 1 here for A&M. They do not want to give John Elway the ball back right here. So Weigman in shotgun, doesn't throw it to Thurman, throws a little screen pass to Evan Stewart, who falls forward for the first down. Gonna pick that up there, keeping the ball out of Elway's hands. Okay, 4 yards, -1, 3rd and 6 here. So 1:25 left. UW is out of timeouts. So they need a stop here. A first down is going to end the game. An incomplete pass you really don't want if you're A&M though either. So you kind of want to run the ball and just keep this clock moving. Weigman with Thurman to his right. Going to fake a handoff. He's pumping and going over the top, and that could have been easily picked off. That is a horrible play call for A&M. Weigman throws it in double coverage deep down the field. I don't know about that. But they go for it, and they hit a 17-yard pass to Tim Brown. Okay, I don't know how that happens, but there you go. They go for it on 4th and 6, up 3, instead of punting it off, but they get it, and A&M knocks off University of Washington and John Elway. Okay, we'll look at some game stats. Weigman, 298. And a tutty, pretty good. Thurman, 129 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Great game for him. Tim Brown, 114 and no touchdowns. So nice game for him. Look at Elway, 30 of 45 for 345, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. That is a good game for Elway. Comes up a little bit short, and that is going to drop Washington down to a 6-7 record on the year. Okay, so that's pretty much going to do it, guys. There just wasn't really that many great matchups with some of our big teams late in the year. So we're going to go to end of bowl season. We're going to look at the stats, and then we're going to go into the 4th and final year. And hopefully there's some big matchups in the 4th year. Okay, going through the stats. First, Bama. So Dickerson, so they had 2 guys run for each 1,300 yards. Grant was a little better, just like yards per carry, had more touchdowns. Dickerson did add 391 on the ground though. So he still wasn't even, he was splitting time and still had like 1,600 yards and like 18 touchdowns. So really can't get too mad at that. If we look at DBs here, they each had, 27 tackles, 2 and 4 tackles for loss, half a sack, no picks. So neither of them was super impactful on the back end this year. Okay, gonna go down to Clemson, who was just very disappointing once again this year. Didn't even make a bowl game. Reggie, 3rd on the team in tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. It wasn't as good this year himself. Irvin, 983, 11 scores is pretty good. They didn't really use Barry as a receiver. 81 yards per game. That's pretty good. Sanders, 1,000 yards. Weren't really running with him a ton. Doug added 598, 6 touchdowns, 50 on the ground. Only a 132 rating, just too many picks. Like if you bring those picks down and you keep those rushing yards, that's a pretty good year for Flutie, but just turning the ball over too much. Okay, Georgia. Aikman, 159. Didn't obviously win the national championship this year. 2,600 yards, 33 touchdowns is pretty good. Rushing, you got Herschel 1,000, Herschel 1,500, Bo 1,000, 10 and 11 touchdowns. Really good between the two of them. Didn't really use either of them as a receiver. Herschel, 10 receptions, 170 yards. So he's averaging, 13 yards per game. Okay, next we got Illinois. Sharp, 885, 9 touchdowns. Decent year. Okay, go to Michigan. DT, 52 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. So yeah, not great. Derek just hasn't put up stats, combined, 5.5 sacks. Yeah, just not much over his first 3 years. Okay, Mississippi State. I think these stats are going to be pretty insane. 1,780 yards, 18 touchdowns for Jerry Rice. 1 drop. Absolute freak show. His QB got second in Heisman voting as well. So yeah, we knew those stats were going to be pretty nasty. Okay, go to Ohio State. And I feel like these are going to be pretty good as well, unless McCord started to slow down, but I don't think he did. Chris Carter, 1261, 8 touchdowns, just under 100 a game. That is all good. Very nice year for Chris. We'll go check out LT, who is actually having a pretty good year last time we checked. 20 TFLs, by far led the team, 6.5 sacks. Yeah, that is a good year. 2 pass deflections and a forced fumble. So LT, probably the best year out of all the defenders this year for sure. Oklahoma. Marino, 174 ratings. Great. 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns, 350 a game. Added, 330 yards. So he's at almost 400 total yards a game. His receiver was nasty too. He's gone next year, Jaden Gibson, but he was very good. Okay, go down to A&M. We even had a pretty good year. Thurman, 1264, 15 touchdowns, just under 100 a game. Didn't really 400 receiving yards, another 30 a game, 6 touchdowns, and then Tim Brown wasn't great. So Thurman is definitely their engine. He's really their go-to playmaker. Tim was their number 1 receiver, but wasn't incredible. Go down to SC. And we got Marcus Allen, who split with Relique, and yeah, I don't know, Marcus was okay, but not incredible. 77 yards a game. Added another 259s, like 20 receiving yards. So wasn't as good of a playmaker as last year. We go to Utah. Steve, 3,400 yards, 37 touchdowns. Pretty good year, not bad. But he just doesn't really run. 369, so like 28 yards per game, 2 touchdowns. Then wrapping it up at Washington, Elway ran for 583 and 5 scores. So almost 50 yards a game for Elway, which is nice. And then 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks for a 142 rating. Decent year, even though, the wins weren't there. So that is going to do it, guys. That is going to wrap up season 3. We're going to hop into season 4 right now. All right, so here we go, guys. We are at the start of season number 4. So we'll look at the preseason polls really quick, see some of our guys. So Penn State, number 1. Michigan with Derek Thomas. Georgia with our 3 guys. Ohio State, we got 2. Bama, we got 3. Mississippi State, Utah, Oklahoma, A&M. Where's Clemson? We got to watch at least one more Clemson game this year. I think we watched 1 year one. Like, they're A+. They can't win games. I don't know. Look at Heisman Watch and preseason All-Americans. None of our guys, which is kind of shocking. Jerry Rice, preseason All-American at receiver. Should be a given. Nothing on defense. Second team, Dan Marino, second team quarterback. Then nothing on defense. We got two preseason All-Americans. So we're going to go look through the rosters here. Everyone should be starting everything, obviously. The only thing is, sometimes 1 or 2 guys will leave. So technically, obviously in college football, you can leave after your 3rd year. So last year was everyone's 3rd year. So some guys leave. Sometimes we'll get like 2 or 3 guys leave, but we'll go through and we'll see. So Dickerson is back. By far the starting running back for Bama. If we go corners, Dion's up to a 98 starter. Rod Woodson up to a 99, first-year starter. So there we go. That should be fun to keep track of this year. We're going to go down to Clemson. QB, we got Doug Flutie, 99. We got Barry Sanders, 99. Everyone's going to be basically a 98 or 99 by this point. Michael Irvin, number 1 receiver, 99. Reggie White, 99. So yeah, like 499. Like if they don't at least make a freaking bowl this year with those 4 players, all at premium positions, like I don't know what's come of the world. Okay, go down to Georgia. Looks like all 3 are back. So we got Aikman at QB. We got Bo and Herschel at running back. So their 3-headed monster has already won a national championship, trying to win a second. Illinois, Sharp is back and he has his quarterback, so hopefully Sharp can have a big year. Go down to Michigan. Thomas is back. Him and Rolder kind of running their defense, so hopefully DT can put up some stats. Ohio State. Oh no, sorry, Mississippi State. So he lost his quarterback. So Jerry's back, but he has a 78 overall quarterback, and his quarterback last year got second in the Heisman. So that is going to be a pretty big difference, obviously. Ohio State, LT. Oh, I think we got our first guy to leave. So Chris Carter left. So we really only got to see him for 1 year. That's too bad. So we do have LT, but yeah, we're down 1 player so far. Okay, Oklahoma. We know Dan Marino's back because he's second team All-American. He has a couple of good receivers, good running back, nice tight end room. So I would expect Dan to have another big year this year. Okay, go to A&M, and we got Tim Brown is back, but it looks like Thurman left. So Tim Brown back, Thurman Thomas gone. Tech, we got Randall Cunningham back. They got 299 overall quarterbacks on their team and not a whole lot else. So his receivers are kind of meh. Tight ends are less than meh. Running backs are meh. So it is going to be the Randall Cunningham show once again. We go down to USC, and Marcus Allen is back. So he's looking like by far their best player, especially on offense. Utah, Steve Young is back. Once again, though, a team where their 2 best players are quarterbacks, which you don't love. And then UW, Johnny Elway is back. Let's look at his weapons. Decent wide receivers, a good tight end, like really good tight end, decent running back. So that is where everyone sits, guys. So what did we lose? And Junior Seau, was he at USC? He might have left, actually. Yeah, so Junior left. So we ended up losing 3 guys: Thurman, Junior Seau, and Chris Carter to the NFL draft. But we still have, that still gives us like 20 guys to follow through with. Okay, here's a game I think we're going to start with. So it's Utah versus Washington. It's going to be about week 5 or 6. And we'll get to watch 2 QBs to start this year. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be week 7. So we're going to sim to this game. Okay, we got a 4-0, number 4 team in the country, Utah, against 4-1 Washington. So this is a good game. We got 2 quarterbacks going to try to duke it out. I like it. Let's go. Utah, the number 1 scoring offense in the country, led by Steve Young, 47 yards per game. Absolutely killing it. I mean, 39 points per game for Washington isn't anything to sneeze at, obviously, either, though. And UW has to go down to Utah, a tough place to play. Elway's going to have to put on a show here to beat these Utah Utes at home. Once again, I'm going to watch the first drive for both QBs and then, just kind of super sim through. So start it off. UW gets the ball. John Elway going to do a quick handoff, gets downhill and explodes for 11 yards for their running back. Yeah, here we go. Shotgun look again. 2x2. Johnny Elway. Another quick little counter. Going to get downhill and go for another 11. So Washington is starting off just running the ball and getting big yardage. Back-to-back carries go for 10 plus yards to start this game. Trips to the top of the screen once again. Elway, first drop back of the day, fires a little hitch, goes for 12 yards. So they've been 10 plus 3 straight plays for for Washington. This is a great start for John Elway and the boys. Okay, little wildcat here, gets about 4 or 5 yards. Okay, here we go. John, finally another drop back, fires a little out route. Washington is just getting whatever they want right now. A sim 1 play. Ooh, okay, we got a 3rd and 13. So now all of a sudden the drive starts to slow down a little bit for UW. Let's see what Elway can do. We got a split back look here. Motion, tries to screen, and it is totally sniffed out by the Utah defender. 4th and 16. Utah finally makes some plays defensively. Oh, and they actually have to punt that football, not even able to kick a field goal. Jeez, so that Washington drive stalls out, and now it's Utah football with Steve Young in shotgun. Going to do their own little counter, goes for about 3 to 4 yards. Okay, 2nd and 7 for Utah. Steve Young in shotgun, bunch to the top of the screen here. Sets up, and that's picked off. Picked off by UW. Steve Young with a bad mistake. Tries to throw the slant. Throws it behind his receiver. The cornerback was in a trailing position, and that is tough. Elway, 7 yards, 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line here for Washington on the road, trying to upset the number 4 team in the country, and they are off to a great start. Elway speed option gets the edge, but Chad Nichols goes down. Okay, here it is, 3rd and goal. Are they going to let Elway pass here? What are they going to do? No, they're going to hand it off. Nichols gets downhill, and he is in for the score. 6-0 Washington. Okay, now we're going to kind of sim through some of this. Okay, Utah was able to tie it up 7-7. 24-7 Washington at halftime. Oh my gosh. Washington is boat racing them a little bit. 34-14. Utah scores a late touchdown in the 3rd quarter there, or right at the start of the 4th. To get it within somewhat striking distance if they can get a stop. We got a 3rd and 2 here for Washington. Out of field goal range. If Utah can get a stop here, get the ball back, they got a shot. Elway in shotgun, gonna motion the tight end across the formation. Okay, Elway's gonna drop back, fires it on a nice little slant drag across the field, and that is a 1st down, and that might do it for Utah. Down 2 scores. Now Washington's within field goal range, 18 yards, 3rd and goal, and there it is, 40-21. UW is going to come into Utah and upset, kind of blow out the number 4 team in the country. Wow, Elway passes for 400 yards. That is a huge upset. Now all of a sudden UW is going to shoot up the boards. They're 5-1 now. Just beat the number 4 team in the country on the road. They are going to be shooting up the rankings, and Utah is going to take a pretty big tumble here, lose by 20 at home. Elway was great. 68% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 400 yards. It ran for 66 as well. Multiple, almost 3 100-yard receivers on the day. If we look at Young, he had 2 picks was really the difference. He had that pick early, which set up a touchdown, another pick later in the game. 352 and 3 touchdowns, obviously very good, but the mistakes hurt him. He did add 24 on the ground. So there it is. That is going to wrap up that one. All right, so here we are in week 10. We're going to look at the top 25 here, look at some stats, see how everyone's kind of rolling to start the year. So Auburn, only undefeated team in the country left. We got Alabama and Georgia, who actually play later in the year. We'll probably watch that one. Miami, Utah, still 6-1, so they kind of bounced back after that L that we watched. A&M, it's a good record for them. Clemson, 6-1. So Clemson is finally living up to their billing. They're not going to play anyone that we can really watch. 7-1 Washington, 4-2 Oklahoma. Michigan, so some of our teams, but we do have this Alabama-Georgia game. That is one we are going to watch for sure. And then we'll watch, some bowl games and stuff as well. So Elway, first in the Heisman rate now at Washington. Let's look at some stats. So he's got to be putting up some numbers. Okay, we'll look at Bama first. So Dickerson, 907.4 yards per carry, 115 a game. Dickerson is having a great year. Also 222 on the ground, so another 27. Dickerson's putting up some stats as a senior. Go look at their defensive numbers here. Rod, 23 tackles. Dion, 20. 6 TFLs, 2. 1 INT for each, no touchdowns. So yeah, it's tough. These DBs, you just never know what kind of stats they're going to put up. Rod is one of their kick returners this year, not their punt returner. Okay, gonna go down to Clemson. Flutie, 194 rating is amazing. 2,200 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 picks, 321 a game. So Clemson is finally putting it all together. Barry, it's only 69 a game. So they're really throwing the ball a ton with Flutie. He's averaging another 27 yards on the ground. 1284. What? I don't think I've ever seen this in all my sims I have ever done in this game. Michael Irvin is averaging 183 receiving yards a game. That is insane. I've never seen anything like that. I think I've seen like 2,000 yard seasons in all of the sims I've done receiving. Maybe more than one, but that is crazy. And then if we go defense, Reggie, 12 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. So pretty good year, second on the team in tackles. But I cannot believe Michael Irvin. This is insane. Wow. Okay. Georgia, Aikman, 181 ratings. Very good. 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Herschel, 924. Bo, 715. Each over 100 a game. This 3-headed monster is tough to deal with. Illinois, 899 for Sharp, 22 yards of reception for 130 a game. So he's going off in his senior year. Michigan, DT, 39 tackles, 11 TFLs, 3 sacks, and an INT. So, okay, pass deflection, having a decent year. Mississippi State lost their quarterback. So yeah, they have a 78 overall starter. So I doubt that Jerry, he still has 1,000 yards. He's at 136. That's incredible. It doesn't look as insane when Michael Irvin's doing what he's doing, but still very, very good. Go down to Ohio State. It's too bad Chris Carter left this year, but we still have Lawrence Taylor, who's third on the team in tackles. Only 5 TFLs and a sack, though, so not being super impactful this year. Oklahoma, 191 rating, 2,100 yards, 350 a game. Marino is absolutely shredding. 200 yards as well, 34 rushing yards a game. Holy Marino. His last 2 years here are going to be pretty insane once it's all said and done. Wow. Okay. Texas A&M. Wiegman's having a nice year. And we have... Where's Thurman Thomas? Thurman left, but Tim Brown stayed. I had it backwards. I was thinking Thurman stayed and Tim Brown left. Tim's 87 yards a game. Good year. 9 touchdowns. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Okay, go down to Tech. Cunningham got benched his last year for this Morton. That's unfortunate. Wow, so we're not going to see Cunningham this year. SC, no Junior Seaus. Is going to be all Marcus Allen. 827 lead back roll, 7.1 yards a carry, over 100 a game. Not really. Okay, actually, yeah, receiving as well. 32, yeah, a game. So he's at over like 130 yards a game, which is good. Utah. Steve Young, 180 QB ratings, very good. 23 touchdowns, 2,400 yards, almost 350 a game. He's adding another, 40 on the ground. So he's playing great. And then we know Elway is killing it because he's the leading Heisman. 189 rating is insane. 2,900 yards, 34 touchdowns, 367 a game with 500 rushing yards for 56 a game. He's at like 430 yards a game, John Elway, all purpose. Holy crap. And yeah, he's leading the country. Rushing, none of our guys. Receiving, oh my God, Michael Irvin's not even leading the country. There we go. Okay, so that is crazy. Okay, we are going to go to the SEC and we're going to watch Georgia-Bama here. It's about week 13, I think. Yeah, week 13, Georgia, Alabama, both one-loss teams. Both have 3 of our guys on each team, so. Okay, Georgia, Bama, both still one loss. 2 and 3 in the country. This is what these sims are about, guys. We got Aikman and Walker and Bo against Dickerson, Rod Woodson, and Deion Sanders. 47 points per game. Georgia first in the country. Third best rushing attack, where Bama's the second best rushing attack. 9th points per game. Second defense versus 5th. These are easily two of the best teams in the country. There's their top, yeah, and there's Bo, Herschel, and Troy. 2 versus 3. It is in Tuscaloosa, though. This is a game, ladies and gentlemen. So the same thing, gonna watch the first drive for each team, then super sim through the rest of the game. Hop in third down, some red zone, stuff like that. Okay, here we go. Georgia is starting out with a pistol look. That looks like Bo actually might be behind him there, not Herschel. Gonna do a little swing pass, get it to the edge, get 3-4 yards. Okay, here we go. 2nd and 5. Ooh, a little full house pistol look for Troy. Hands it off, and Herschel gets downhill and gets a big 13-yard game on this Bama front. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, is Georgia team has kind of had Bama's number. The first 2 years of the sim, Bama was undefeated heading into the SEC championship game, and Georgia was able to knock them off. And then Georgia went on to win a national championship off the back of that. So this is big. Ooh, the safety. I think that was Rod Woodson flew down. Yeah, Rod Woodson with the TFL flew down and blew that up in the backfield. Great play by Rod. 2nd and 12. Aikman with Herschel in the backfield. Plenty of time. Going to drop it off to Herschel, who's going to fall forward to get it to about 3rd and 4. 8-yard reception. Okay, here we go again. Troy trips to the bottom of the screen. Empty look here. Sits back in the pocket. Delivers a strike. That is a nice pick. Oh, they got a knockout there. Receiver dropped it. Okay, so Bama comes up with the stop. -3 yards for Dickerson. I super simmed through the first play, but here we go. Bama out on offense. I got Trey Sanders in at quarterback. They have Dickerson beside him. Gonna do a little draw, and Dickerson gets back-to-back negative carries for Bama. And now all of a sudden they're in a little bit of trouble. But you got a big 3rd and 14. This is a rushing attack for Bama. They are not really built to throw the ball all over the yard. So we will see what Trey can do here on 3rd and 14. Just ton of guys in. Oh my! That throw by Trey Sanders, rolling to his right, crossbody fadeaway for 24 yards. That was incredible. Wow, Trey Sanders. Now all of a sudden Bama's cooking a little bit here. He's got Dickerson. He's going to do a straight drop, pull it, have some yards out in front, pick up about 7. Gets kind of hit pretty hard there. Okay, 2nd and 3. Whole playbook open for you now if you're Alabama. Under center here with Dickerson in behind him. Straight drop. Ooh, and there is a blitzer right in his face to stick him. 3rd and 9. Okay, here we go. Trips to the top. Trey Sanders in shotgun. Gonna motion his tight end across the formation once again. Okay, straight drop. They're doing a little screen pass, tunnel screen. Who gets Kobe Pretense gets absolutely lit up, and it is going to be 4th down. So back, both teams get stops. We're going to sim through the first quarter now. Okay, and then both teams score 7-7. These teams are trading punches. It is 21-all at half, 28-all. Wow, okay. So 4th quarter, 28-all. We got a 3rd and 3 here for Georgia. We got Aikman full house. He's going to have Bo and Herschel in the field, but he's going to pull it, maybe run, fire in a little comeback, and drill it in for the 1st down. Big pickup for the Bulldogs. That was caught on Deion Sanders. Okay, we got first. Okay, there it is. So Georgia is able to take that down and score. So Bama has to answer back here. 3rd and 7 for Trey Sanders. If you don't get this, you are in trouble. 2 of 8 for 3rd down on Bama. For Bama. You got Trey and Dickerson in the backfield. Straight drop. Dickerson picks up a blitzer, fires a drag underneath, but you are going to be short. Georgia gets a stop. 5:50 left. Bama's going to have to punt this away. We got a 3rd and 8 for Georgia, though, at about their own 20-yard line. If Bama gets a stop, it is all in front of them right here. Georgia's 9 of 12 on 3rd down. They're going to do a draw to Herschel, who breaks a tackle, but he is going down. Very conservative. You have a Troy Aikman, senior quarterback right here, Herschel Walker just beat his own actual record for career rushing yards at Georgia. That's kind of cool. But yeah, okay, so they are going to have to punt this ball. Okay, minus yards, 4 yards. We got another third down, big third down, just about at midfield here for Alabama. Trips to the top of the screen. Let's see what Trey Sanders can do. He's going to do straight drop, sit back, ton of time. He's going to hit the little hitch, though. You got to get that past the sticks. 1 yard reception. When you have that kind of time, you got to find something better down the field. They're going to punt this away to Georgia. Okay, 1 yard, 4 yard. Okay, another third down. These teams are not able to, all of a sudden the offense is drying up. Both defenses are getting stingy. 3 minutes left, 3rd and 5. They're going to do another draw to Herschel, who's going down. These play calls, I am not sure about. So there it is. They're going to have to punt it again. Trade it for 40 yards, 5 yards. All of a sudden, Kobe Pretense gets open. Trey hits him. 2nd and 5 inside the 10-yard line for Alabama. Down 7 in the 4th quarter. Both one-loss teams. Hand it off to Dickerson. He's got room, but he's going down. It is going to be 3rd and 5. A field goal doesn't really do much for you. You need a score. Dickerson has 119 yards and a touchdown. We got empty here for Trey Sanders. What are you going to do? Single high here for Clemson. He has a little hitch right there. Stick, and it is a 1st down. Paul Stewart, tight end, just sits down versus that zone, and Trey is able to hit him. Okay, I'm going to super sim. Okay, there it is. 2 yard rush by Dickerson. Okay, let's see if Georgia can answer back. Aikman. Incomplete. We got a 3rd and 8. All of a sudden, Georgia's offense has completely dried up. If they just punt this ball right back to Alabama, Troy, plenty. No, he fumbles. Bama recovers. Troy Aikman fumbles and Alabama recovers. Georgia has fallen apart in the 4th quarter. 10-yard rush by Dickerson. We got it inside Bama's got it inside the 3-yard line. My goodness. Trey and Dickerson gonna hand it off to Dickerson. He's running to the right. He gets stopped. He's losing yards and goes out of bounds. That is not a good run for Dickerson. I mean, you do only need a field goal, but yeah, you don't want to be losing yards there. Minus 4 yards, 2nd and goal. Georgia falling apart in the 4th quarter. Okay, we got under center here, Trey, with Dickerson behind him. Double tight to the right. Oh, he falls forward. He's down about a yard short, and there's only 9 seconds left. Georgia hasn't been using timeouts, so that's interesting. So Bama is going to win this. They're going to kick a field goal rate here. I don't know why Georgia wasn't using timeouts unless they missed this absolute chip shot. It is up. It is good. 6 seconds left for Georgia. Wow, what a game. There it is. Yeah, so Georgia goes down. Dickerson, 190 yards. He must have had some receiving yards as well. Georgia, they had a bunch of just 3rd downs where they couldn't get anything going, and then Troy Aikman fumbles. So that's basically going to do it for Georgia's national title, hopes. They did win 1 with this threesome, but with those 3, you could have won more than 1 for sure. Aikman, a good game, but just in the 4th quarter, just kind of fell apart. Herschel, really good. Bo didn't get a lot of work, but when he did, he played well. Eric, 133, great game, 2 touchdowns, and he was the leading receiver on the team. Defensively, Rod had 6 tackles, 1 TFL. Dion had 3 tackles. Neither of them had a pick. So there it is. Bama beats Georgia. Great game. That moves Bama to 10-1 on the year. Okay, we are going to advance now to conference championship weekend. Okay, so let's look at the top 25 here. So Bama 11-1. They're going to play Tennessee if they win. They're in. Penn State 11-1. If they beat Minnesota, it looks like they'll be in. Miami, Oregon, Utah, Tennessee's playing Bama. Washington 1 loss. Clemson 1 loss. They're going to play Virginia Tech. So somehow Miami didn't make. They must have lost to Clemson or Virginia Tech. They lost to Va Tech, so it's Clemson, Va Tech. So we don't really have any of our teams where it's 2 matchups. So I think we're just going to sim through and we'll probably watch like the Natty if one of our team makes it. And I want to watch a game of Clemson this year. Just, you know, we have 4 guys on the team. Hopefully it'd be sick if they got matched up with like Washington or something and we just got to get a double dip, or Utah, or just any, you know, A&M, just where we could see 2 of our teams against them. Trey Sanders at Alabama narrowly edges out John Elway to win the Heisman. It looks like Steve Young got 5th. So it's Miami versus Bama. So it is going to be Bama in the Natty. So we'll watch that. Penn State, UCF, Utah, Minnesota, Texas Tech versus Georgia, but Cunningham's not even starting. Clemson versus Washington. Okay, so we're going to watch those 2 games. We'll start with Clemson and Washington. Also, guys, stick around to the end because we're going to look at the final stats for each one of the players, you know, at the end of the year. Plus, we're going to look at their career stats. So we're going to see, you know, what QB passed the most yards, running backs, receivers had the most receiving yards, all that good stuff as well. So Washington, Clemson, very similar offensively. Washington actually a tick better. Defensively, Clemson's better. Well, let's hop in. Ooh, it's raining here. Rainy. Both 1-loss teams. Elway just misses out on the Heisman. We are in Miami. I think this must, yeah, this is the Orange Bowl. So big time bowl game right here. They're going to watch first drive for both teams. Clemson with Flutie, Barry Sanders in behind him, Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's at the top of the screen. I cannot wait to go look at the stats and see what Irvin did. If somehow he kept that up at over 180 a game, even if he dropped down to like 150. Okay, so 2-yard run by Barry on the first play of the game. Okay. Flutie with Barry right behind him in pistol. Gonna straight draw, pass it out. Nice little flat route there. Gonna gain about 15 yards on the play. Flutie delivers a strike. New school passing yards career passes Taj Boyd, Doug Flutie. He was a 4-year starter, so he played a ton of games. This was the first year he actually really played well, though. Okay, full house look. Hand it off. I don't even know if that's Barry, is it? Oh yeah, it's Barry. There we go. So Barry falls forward, actually loses a yard. 2nd and 11 here for Clemson. Finishes the 3rd team in the country. So they were very close to making the national championship actually this year. That would have been sick if it was them versus Bama. Okay, Barry gets the edge. He has some room there. Gets about 7 yards, gets it to 3rd and 2. Okay, empty here. Well, not really empty, but no running back. Oh, okay, that's a cool little play, but Barry goes down, gets stuffed by the UW defense, and Clemson is going to have to punt this ball to John Elway, who's been debatably the best player in the country this year. He is starting at his own 10-yard line right here, but let's see what Washington can get done against Clemson. Oh, a little QB draw to start it off. Gets about 2-3 yards. 4,300 yards, 50 touchdowns for Elway this year. Okay, here we go. Split back look. Gonna hand it off. Ooh, breaks a tackle, fall forward. Okay, gains about another yard for Chad Nichols. Okay, so big 3rd and 8 here for Washington inside their own 20, 15-yard line. So you really want to kind of get out of your own area here. Fires it over the middle. Nice little post drag route to their slot receiver there. Big pickup on 3rd down for John Elway. Passing yards in a career. There you go, John Elway. So we're breaking records with all these guys. 3-yard rush haul. Okay, we got a 3rd and 4 here for Elway. He's only 1 for 1. They're trying to run the ball a lot on Clemson here, but they are an empty here. This is going to be a pass. Keep in mind that's Reggie White at the top of the screen, also rushing at the end, who comes in for the sack. Reggie White right on cue. The sack on 3rd down to force a Washington punt. Okay, let's go through the first quarter here. So Clemson 7-0 after 1. Okay, 21-7. Clemson was up 21-0. So Washington needs to start answering here. Okay, 35-21. See, 3rd and 3 here inside the 30. You score here. It's a 7-point game with 6 minutes left by the time you score. So it is still a ball game, but Washington's got to get it in the end zone. 3rd and 3. Elway throws it underneath. Nice pickup. Most passing yards ever in a season at UW. Sack for a 3-yard loss. 3rd and 4 again here for Elway. 280 and 2 touchdowns. So not quite putting up his gaudy stats he has been throughout the rest of the year, but hey, there's still a lot of time left in this game. Quads to the top of the screen, drops back. Reggie White's coming, finds a guy for a first down, gains about 8 yards on the play inside the 5-yard line to Otten. 2 yards. Okay, so there it is. UW is able to punch it in. Let's see what Clemson can do. 5-yard rush, Barry. Okay, so all of a sudden it's 3rd and 8 Clemson. They have got to make a play here. They got to get a first down. You don't want to punt this ball back to Elway right here. Trips to the top. Flutie, quick pass, picked off. Bug Flutie's picked off by Washington. Wow. Tried maybe like a little bit of a back shoulder throw. Braylon Vaughn is right there going the other way with the football. 3-yard rush, 4-yard rush. We got 3rd and 3 here. Flutie has not been great. Only like 180 yards passing. Throws a pick right there. Elway with it all in front of him. Hands it off to Nichols, who explodes. Breaks a tackle inside the 10-yard line. Okay, we're going to super sim just a little bit. Okay, 3rd and goal. This has got to be 4-down territory. I would say it's 4-down territory. You never know what this computer is going to do. But Elway, punch it in right here, and it doesn't matter. Read option, gonna go. Oh, it looked like he had the edge. Oh, 4th and goal all of a sudden. I'm going for this, though. Even if they do stop you, they're inside their own 5-yard line. Once again, still 4 minutes left. But if you score, obviously you tie it up. So I'm definitely, I like this play call. Trips to the top. Plenty of time, and he's going down. There we go. Turnover on downs. They're able to knock that down before Elway can get it out. But like I said, now Clemson got it inside their own 5-yard line. They got to make some plays, but Flutie to Irvin for 11. Flutie to Irvin for 7, but then all of a sudden they get stopped, and it's 3rd and 6. Okay, pistol look here. Trips to the top. Huge down for Clemson. What are they going to do? They're going to air it out. Go over the top. Flutie was almost picked again. Flutie has only 3 incompletions, but a few bad throws here, and you are punting this ball back to Washington again. 10 yards for Nickel, incomplete. 3rd and 10 here for Elway. 2:51 left. You're not in field goal range. You need this first down. Split back look. Elway against Clemson. Drops back, plenty of time, fires it over the middle, but gains 3 yards. It is 4th and 7. What are they going to do here? This is it is odd. You're out of field goal range. You can't really punt it. 2:30 left. You got to kind of go for it. 4th and 7. This is tough. This is tough. This is where I can see Reggie White making a play once again. He's got a free rush. They try a screen. Not a good play call. Denzel Boston going down. John Elway eclipses 300 yards, but that is going to put them in a tough spot. 2nd and 5, 1st and 10. 1st and 10. Yeah, so that, all of a sudden, okay, it's 3rd and 8. So Washington has no timeouts. The clock has stopped. They need a stop here, and then they need a miracle drive from Elway. Flutie drops back. A first down basically ends it, drops it. Oh, and it is incomplete. That clock is going to keep running. Now, all of a sudden, Washington's in a pretty good spot. Well, not really, but they went for it on 4th down. Okay, they do some weird stuff. Boston for 25, for 12. Okay, so we got it 2nd and 10 inside the 20 here. Elway leading another drive, but they gotta punch it in. They cannot have this where they're not finishing these drives off. Elway, Reggie White with the QB hit. Reggie White has made some big plays today. Show him why he's one of the best defenders in Clemson history. We are back to 3rd and 10, and you gotta think, you gotta chip Reggie. You do not want Reggie White blowing these plays up. At the bottom of your screen, one-on-one rush, holds up, nice, has a guy just short at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal for you, Dub. Elway holds in there, drop, 2nd and goal, incomplete. We got 3rd and goal here from the 1-inch line. Clemson does have all 3 timeouts. John Elway in shotgun, Nichols beside him. Hard count, hands it off to Nichols, who falls for it, and that is it. Washington with the huge 4th quarter comeback, down multiple scores. Flutie kind of fell apart a little bit in the 4th quarter here. What has Clemson got? 3-yard rush, 3-yard rush. Okay, they're going to OT. The OT guys can get weird. Okay, so Washington gets stopped. Sometimes the super sim, I don't know. We got to remember this is an old game that I ported to PC, so sometimes weird stuff can happen with the super sims and stuff. So Washington goes up 3, which is okay, but now if Clemson scores a touchdown, they win it. We're gonna just super sim. Okay, so Flutie, 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. You got 3 downs to win this game. Barry Sanders beside him here, split back. You got Michael Irvin, hands it off to his backup running back who gets down inside the 2-yard line. Washington with the furious comeback, but it is on a razor's edge right here. Can they get a stop, or is Clemson going to walk this one off? Under center, tight end motions across the field. Barry Sanders behind him, going to hand it off to Barry. Truck sticks and gets into the end zone. Barry Sanders with the walk-off touchdown win, unless something weird happens with the super sim. There it is. Barry Sanders, his final college play is a touchdown in the Orange Bowl, where he blows up a defender before getting into the end zone. Elway had a great 4th quarter comeback, but Clemson is able to get it done in OT. Okay, so here we go. Game stats, player stats. Flutie had a good game, but it wasn't great in the 4th quarter. Barry was very good. 187 yards, 3 touchdowns. Had 1 reception for 14. Irvin had 10 for 128. We look at Washington, 365 and 2 touchdowns for Elway. He also ran for 30. So Elway had 4 touchdowns on the day. So we are going to go and we're going to quickly watch some of this Miami-Bama natty. We only have, obviously it's not 2 of our teams. I don't care who wins, but it's cool to see our guys in our sim that we make win. So Dickerson, Rod, and Deion Sanders trying to win a national championship. Match Georgia, who won one 2 years ago with Aikman and the 2 running backs. So we'll see here if Bama can knock off Miami and take this one home. Here, I'm just going to basically sim through. I'm not going to watch the first drives. I'm going to get kind of the 4th quarter here, and we'll see where we're at. So we're just going to go through the 1st quarter here. Okay, 3-0 Bama. Ooh, 24-8 Alabama. Kind of taking it to the U right here. The U needs a big 3rd quarter or this one is over. 24-11 Bama, but Miami does have the ball here. No, they get stopped. Bama gets stopped. Miami gets stopped. Bama gets stopped. Miami scores, and all of a sudden now it's a 7-point game, 6-point game. Okay, Trey. 7 yards Dickerson. Ooh, 3rd and 7 here for Alabama. 1:53 left. You're in I form, and you're going to go to your fullback. Oh my goodness, but there's a flag on the play. What could... offside. Miami. Oh, all of a sudden it's going to be 3rd and 2. That play call, they do a fullback dive on 3rd and 8. Luckily for them, Miami was offside. Now it's all of a sudden it's 3rd and 2, and you have Trey Sanders, who just won the Heisman, with Eric Dickerson behind him. Okay, hands it off to Dickerson. Oh my God, runs into a guy, but actually gets the edge all of a sudden, explodes upfield, and that should do it. That should be the walk-off for Alabama, unless something weird happens. 2-yard rush, 8-yard rush by Dickerson. Trey Sanders kneel, and that is it. Bama wins the national championship on the back of Rod, Deion, and Trey Sanders and Dickerson. Dickerson ran for 151. Trey was pretty good as well. We'll look defensively if any of those boys did anything. Rod had 5 tackles. And Deion had 2 tackles. Okay, so there it is. Alabama matches Georgia, wins a national championship. So we're just going to sim through the rest of the bowl games, guys. Then we're going to look at the All-Americans for this year. We're going to look at the final stats for this season. Then we're also going to look at the final stats for their career, just to see which out of our sim, which guys had the most rushing yards, passing yards, all that good stuff. All right, let's look at the final top 25 of year number 4. Bama Clemson gets 2nd in the country. I wish it would have been Bama Clemson in that now. Look at All-Americans. John Elway gets 1st team. Michael Irvin gets 1st team. Defense, none of our guys. Second team, Flutie gets second team, then nobody on defense. So there we go. Look at the season stats. Bama. Trey won the Heisman. Dickerson, 1,681 yards, 15 touchdowns, 120 a game. He also added 380 and 3 touchdowns through the air. So Dickerson had a really nice year. Defensively, Rod had 49 tackles, 9 TFLs, and a pick. Dion had 3 INTs, 5 tackles for a loss, no defensive touchdowns for Dion. Okay, gonna go to Clemson. Reggie, 90 tackles, 26 TFLs, 9.5 sacks. So he actually had his best year his 4th year. He was definitely the best defender in the sim, most consistent. Had good year basically every year. Doug finally had a great year. 194 rating, 52 touchdowns, 4,400 yards. Plus another 465 on the ground, 5 touchdowns, 33 a game. Barry was good, 12-25, 8 touchdowns. Michael Irvin, I've never seen that. 2,500 yards. I've never seen that, guys. I've done a lot of sims in this game. I remember I did a sim where Tavon Austin had like 2,100. 2,500, 179 a game. 23 touchdowns. That is literally insane. Barry didn't really do anything, but holy cow. That is insane. 2,500 yards. Incredible. So Doug was like, yeah, I think Michael Irvin might be pretty good. I think I'm going to throw him the ball a shit ton. Okay, going to go to Georgia. Aikman, 181 ratings, very good. 44 touchdowns, 5 picks. Rushing, both over, 1,500 and 1,200, 17 and 12. The 1-2 punch was incredible for Georgia. Illinois, Sharp had a great last year. 1,400 yards, 20 reception, 118 a game. We'll go down to Michigan. DT, 75, 26 TFLs. So he finally had a good year. INT, yeah, finally really had that big year. Which we like to see. Okay, Mississippi State. I'm thinking I'm going to guess like 1,400 for 1,700, almost 19 receptions. So Jerry was incredible as well. Okay, going to go Ohio State. LT second on the team in tackles, 11 TFLs. Not a great year for LT. Oklahoma, 4,300 yards, 45 touchdowns. Yeah, his back-to-back years, 46 and 43, 44 touchdowns, 45 touchdowns. Dan Marino, his junior and senior years was pretty great. 419 rushing yards as well. Marino was about it. We're going to go A&M. We even had a good year. 1177 and 16 touchdowns, 90 a game for Tim Brown. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, then we get to Tech. Right, Cunningham got not even benched. They just had 299 quarterbacks, so you can get to play. Marcus Allen, 12-18, 16 touchdowns, 7 yards a carry is great. And they didn't really throw to him that much. 27 a game, though, isn't bad. Junior Seau's gone, so we don't have him. Utah, Steve Young, 186 rating, 4,757 passing yards, 46 touchdowns. Wow. Added 575 and 5 tutties on the ground. Young was great this year for Utah. Finish it off at Washington. Elway led the team in rushing, 732 yards, 9 touchdowns, 56 a game. Have 47 and 41 yards, 52 touchdowns on the year. So how many total? 52 plus 9. 61 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards for John Elway as a senior for Washington. Holy crap. So that is their final stats for the season, guys. Lastly, we're just going to look at career stats. So here I'm just going to go all, and we can kind of compare them against each other. So most passing yards in a career. So Steve Young actually gets first, then Doug Flutie, then Troy, then Dan, then Elway. So Elway actually gets last, even though his last year was probably the best year any QB had, and he was really good his last 2 years. Marino was just great his last 2 years. Great. Aikman was probably the most consistent over the years, like always around just over 3,000, around 3,000, 30, 44 touchdowns, low picks. Flutie was the least consistent. Started every year, but I mean, his year number 2, other than the picks, was good, but by year 3, it was great. Steve Young, kind of just steady improvement over each year. So interesting to see who had the most touchdowns. Troy actually had the most touchdowns, most INTs. Randall, oh, we forgot about Cunningham, but he didn't get to play his last year. So, you know, his sophomore year was really good, but he just had a lot of turnovers. Yards per game. Okay, now we'll go rushing. So Herschel, out of our guys, actually finishes with the most, 5,400 yards. He had 700, then 16, 15, 15. So super consistent. Dickerson right there as well. Difference with Dickerson, he didn't really play as a freshman, but his 3 other years were basically right in line with Herschel. Marcus Allen, 4,000 yards. You know, never quite the workhorse of the other guys, but was good. Herschel and Marcus, you know, top 2 in touchdowns. Receiving will be interesting. I know Jerry's going to be first, but yeah, Michael was kind of weird because it's only one 1,000 yard season, but his 4th year, 2,500 yards and crazy. Jerry was insane. Wow. That might be the best receiving career of all time. What is the most receiving yards in NCAA history? Just gonna Google this. 5,285. He blew that out of the water. Blew it out of the water. So he was the best receiver of all time, basically, in college football. 1 year where he didn't get 1,000. Every other year he was above 1,500, maxed out at 1,700. Crazy. But honestly, Michael Irvin, because his last year was so good, we only finished 500 yards off the all-time record as well. We'll look at defense. We'll see TFLs. Reggie White, most TFLs. No one else was even on the list, really. QB sacks, Reggie White. So Reggie was just by far the best. And none of our guys even had that many picks. It was basically the Reggie White show defensively. He was the best defender in college football over the last 4 years. Okay, I want to look at just, there's NCAA records. Individual career receiving yards. So yeah, Jerry Rice breaks the, look at how good DT was. 52 sacks in his career. Wasn't as good, obviously, right now in our sim, but wow. So Jerry Rice, we got to say Jerry Rice was the best player in the sim. Broke the NCAA all-time receiving record for a career. Michael Irvin had the best single season, though. 2,500 receiving yards is freaking cracked. I don't even know. That's insane. So that is it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I plan on doing this for each decade. So I want to do the same thing where we did the top players from the 80s, but for the 90s, 2000s, and 2010. So those will be on the way, guys. If you guys aren't subbed and you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like on the video and sub below. And that is it. King Reggie out.